Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? Another Friday night. Friday, it's just a thing in the summer, maybe. Have a little more free time on Fridays. Tomorrow I will be attending a barbecue. I will be bringing panzanella salad made by Smokesteve wife, as well as marinated pork tips and possibly chicken tips. Hey Georgie, how you doing, brother? Just getting a bowl ready here, having a strangely colored pina colada because I used very dark rum. Delicious. I dropped the ball last week on the tune. I should have played ZZ Top, and after re-watching the live stream a little bit, some people in the comments were saying play ZZ Top because Dusty Hill just died. So I apologize for that, and I am going to play a little bit of ZZ Top today. If you will grant me a few minutes of your time. This is a good tune. In fact, probably my favorite ZZ Top song. Did get some radio play. It's not Legs. It ain't Sharp Dressed Man. This is called Jesus Just Left Chicago. Jesus just left Chicago, and he's bound for New Orleans. Jesus just left Chicago, and he's bound for New Orleans. Yeah. Working from one end to the other, and all the points in between. Took a jump through Mississippi, muddy water turned to wine. Yeah, well, that last dance on the beach. We took her right through San Diego, muddy water turned to wine. Yeah. And out to California in the forests and the pines. See him in person, but he'll see you just the same. You might not see him in person, but he'll see you just the same. Yeah. You don't have to worry about taking care of business, 'cause taking care of business is his name. All credits go to Frank Beard, Billy Gibbons, and rest in peace, Dusty Hill. ZZ Top. Great band, and they're probably still going to tour without Dusty, man. And Billy called him his best friend, playing together for 50 years. Thanks, George. Yeah, that one's right in my key. Low G. Perfect. Hello, Amy. Welcome. Yeah, good tune there. could go on that. Those two chords, man, it's just a simple, it's an open G, little quick guitar lesson. So we tune the A string down to a G string. So I'm not playing anything on the neck. I've already got a chord. So there's what's called an open chord. Open G. So what I'm doing is a suspended on top of that. It's got a real mellow feel. Just a real kind of walking down the street sort of a Chicago, not a hard Chicago blues, more of a Chicago, like a mellow blues. And it's not a 1-4-5, so. Oh, not to disturb your daughters. It's the middle of, wait, let me think. Is it later out there? No, it's earlier, right? Because it's later in the UK. So yeah, it's what, like 2 in the afternoon out there, LD? Something like that. Yeah, very beautiful day. Yeah, I caught a fish today on the boat. You guys want to see a picture? Well, you're gonna. Let's see here if we can get this sucker in there. Nice striped bass, probably about 30 inches. We're in about 20 feet of water, drifting towards some rocks. And they call them rock bass because they hang out in the rocks. But when you're in a boat, you get a little unnerved drifting towards rocks because you're like, ooh, there's fish there, but we're going to run aground. You know, you don't want to do that with that boat. It's a nice boat. It's not my boat either. It's my brother's. So we try to take care of it. Yeah, we didn't need it, George. We weren't prepared with ice, so it was a good hook through the bottom lip. Got the hook out, no blood. Couple pictures. He swam away real strong. You need fish. You need ice to keep a fish. You got to really like put the effort in to make sure that thing stays fresh. Thanks, Alan. I hate to waste them. If you keep them and you don't, keep them cold, they get funky, man, and they're just, not. You want fresh fish. You all know that, right? So, yeah, it was fun. We got one fish, close to the rocks. We caught him. Once you're out off of the beaches or in the deeper water, you're not going to catch much, but you just never know. My dad is up from Florida, so we were obviously on the boat with him. It was cool. And he's taking off after this weekend, so we're having a nice big barbecue with the family and stuff tomorrow. So that is the reason I won't be doing the pub tomorrow. So thanks for being here tonight. I figure what the hell, if it sucks, I'll end it. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it's all good. I figure next week is definitely going to be a Saturday show, barring some sort of a natural disaster. I think it's a lock because we're getting lobsters next Saturday for the wife's birthday, and we're going to have a little nice lobster thingy, and then do the pub after, and they'll hang out on the deck and watch the pub. So it'll be fun. Ooh, tasty. All right, I got a buddy down below. Hey, yeah, George is saying hi to wife. Yes, thank you, Amy. It's much better if I could just get the pictures from my phone onto the computer, but the problem is, I don't know. I don't want to fuck around this computer. I'm so paranoid. I've had bad luck with computers, so I just surf with the web with it and do the pub, and nothing sketchy. I don't know. It's probably dumb paranoia. Yeah, the lobsters will be good. I'll probably have a little backup steak because sometimes I get a little freaked out with the lobster, get a weird part. Then it's like, steak time. Lobster can be funky. But anyways, Mr. Cypher this. What's up, guys?
Hey, it's going great. It's a beautiful down channel. So I'm going to take the cam and do that turnaround where we look down channel. It's really, really, really nice. We got some storms about 5 to 10 miles away, and it's making there's the cat down there.
Lazy bastard.
Yeah, lazy bastard. The thing, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Oh, look at those clouds. That's nice, man.
Yeah. It's over there. That's where the darker storm is. It doesn't look quite as good as I was hoping it would, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I was looking at the radar. I mean, it looked like it was going to come and get us, come right over us, and it was thick. And really, you could hear lightning and thunder. Hear thunder, way down there. But yeah, pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, there you go. That's that Indian River, looking south.
I bet you that water's over 80 degrees.
Probably.
I think my dad was saying the Gulf is like 85 right now. It's insane. I mean, dude, it's like practically you go in the water and it doesn't feel any different from the temperature of your skin. It's like it's so weird. It's so warm.
Yeah. I haven't been in the pool, but I heard our pool's very, very warm. And we talked about aeration. You guys that have the circular pools, are your pools hot now, or you got nice, good temperature in your pool?
Up here?
Yeah.
About 70, 72.
Oh, that's refreshing.
That's nice. The ocean is 70 right now. Right out in the Atlantic is 70. That's pretty damn warm. So,
swim in it for sure.
Yeah,
spring temperature. Yeah.
In early June, first time I went in this year, it was 59. That is cold, but also manageable.
You can burn a lot of calories in that kind of temperature water. I was doing the weight loss strategy a few years ago. I was going down in, February and March we have cloud covers that come over almost all the time, real light cloud covers, but real early in the morning, it'll be just sun. And so I'd get out there about, 8:30 in the morning and just float around in 55 to 60 degree water and not do much of anything. And then the sun would be, making me warm enough that I could tolerate it. And just the sheer, body, dealing with the cold water will burn, dozens and dozens of calories. So it was a good strategy. It worked pretty good. Well, I'm lazy at leisure for a couple of weeks. We finished the semester, the summer B semester, and I guess the last thing I did was, I think it was Wednesday. So that's nice. There was no break from summer A to summer B. And I mean, I told you guys about that accounting. I think I was traumatized by that accounting course.
So they still have finals, right? Did you have finals?
There are very few of the courses that actually have final exams.
No kidding, huh?
Yeah, it's just all the lion's share of the work on the courses are the papers. Some of the courses will require, two.
Happy dog.
Hey, happy dog.
Showing his brand of love to us over there.
He was kicking sidebar butt on the big show.
Yeah.
Thursday. It was great.
Yeah. I like Happy Dog. I haven't really put on any weight, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm drinking just Crystal Light watermelon strawberry with a dash of lemon. Crystal Light. I haven't had a drink in about 2 weeks, and
cool.
I'm finding that as much fun as I have getting the buzz, biologically the senior citizen body doesn't handle heavy drinking very well.
Right.
So I was beginning to get what I call liquor sick. It was almost like a morbidly, bad feeling that bad juju is going to happen imminently.
Right.
So right now I'm on a sober kick, but
cool.
I'm not. I got other stuff in me. You know how that goes.
I do.
My nerve drug. I gotta have my nerve drugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's good. You're having just a little bit tonight, just to imbibe a couple shots at the pub.
Yeah, we'll call it that. Sure. Drinking that vodka tonight.
Yeah. Hi, Rick Kerr. Yeah, Happy Dog's the man. He's a ball buster, but he's always somewhat either around or just out of sight. So he's cool. I dig him. Him and there's one other cat over there that I like. Ball buster, Fat Belly. He's good. Classic shit. Good show on Thursday, huh, George?
Yes, very good.
Yeah, I liked that one. I thought Hayden did a good job.
I only caught it on the replay. I didn't catch it live. I wish I had caught it live. It would have been fun.
It was a good live one. Did you not get a notification, or were you just doing something?
Other things were happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, I mean, it was very good to watch. And I enjoyed. Yeah, I was able. At first, the YouTube programming sort of blanked out the sidebar when I tried to go to live chat.
Yeah.
And then I just fiddled around with it, and I was able to see all of the live chat, which of course was hilarious.
Right. What's up? Hey, Cup. Yeah, the sidebar was good.
Hey, Cup. I'm only here to get barred.
That would, that's
come
not.
on and get barred, man.
That's not true. I know that's not his reason, but Thursday was funny, Alan. Yeah, I liked it. It was a good time. Hey, did you get your toilet replaced or fixed?
I did, and it was exactly what you said. That little plastic,
the wax seal.
The wax seal was what was leaking, and he replaced that. And now I don't have to tend my waste as it goes down. I used to have to sit there and hold the fucking, lever down for 4 seconds and watch the waste. It's like, fuck.
You just had him reinstall that 40-year-old toilet?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the 1.5 gallon flush,
the low flow. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was skeptical. He said, "Well, you end up having to flush it twice anyway."
Oh,
and also, it costs like $450. I think he said was their cost to install it.
Maybe to install. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, I mean, it would take eventually in about 3 years, I might save enough water to pay back that price. But he replaced all the internal guts of the float and the whatever else is there with the float. What else is there?
Flapper, fill valve.
Float. That's right. Yep.
And
the old flapper.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All that was replaced, and now I just do my business and put that lid down and flush it and forget about it. So
was he a plumber?
Yeah, well, there's a very good plumbing outfit around here that's got multiple field, plumbers that go out for them, and I've used them ever since I first moved in here, and in 2010.
Yeah,
and I've used them about 5 times or so for different things. They repaired my kitchen, replaced the parts of the kitchen sink. And, they repaired 2 toilets at one point. They were all fucked up. This 1970s stuff. I'm just hoping my fucking condo doesn't fall down. Friggin', what was the name of that place that fell down there?
Champagne Towers.
What was that? It
Champlain Towers, something like that.
Yeah, that was cautionary note for everybody. They better start having those every 3rd year or so have an engineer required to look at it, because there's thousands of condos in Florida, and many of those are very, very old, decades old.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with you after seeing what happened to that one.
That was something else, man. That was really something.
And from what I hear, the entrance to the parking garage was fairly low, and on storm tides or excessively high tides, water from the ocean would wash up into the parking garage. It was like an underground parking going down the entrance ramp. It was like
pure corrosion. Yeah,
really bad design. Just sucks.
I've always wondered about those condos that have the parking garages underneath them. That's. When you think about it, after watching the one that went down, what was it, about 3 months, 2 months ago, about 2 months ago. That's it's just cautionary. It's just cautionary note.
Exactly.
I've looked at. We had some problems where our seawall on the south side of the condo building is only about maybe 5 yards, six yards away from the foundation, and then there's some issues about how the fill between anyway, pictures were taken and you could see the subterranean piers, I don't know, and
Yeah.
is that what they would be called, that
Sure.
hold the whole building up?
Yep.
And it looked like it would be vulnerable. I mean, if we had a major storm come through, and it's completely conceivable that the tidal action could bring the surface of the river up above the top of the seawalls and onto our property.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point it would fill that entire subterranean place up, and that would just be corrosive as hell to anything that's metal down there.
Scary, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit creeped out. I mean, after having seen that happen in Miami, everybody's creeped out about it. Yeah,
do they have like routine engineer inspections as far as
there's that back? It was a big deal. I want to say that was Governor Christ, one of the Florida governors, that was part of the administration that repealed the requirement for having engineers inspect every third year. I want to say every third year. And when that was stripped away as a requirement, then it was basically, it was left to, the condo boards of directors of all these different condos to direct, the paths of the condominium maintenance structures. And ours we're doing very well. I mean, it's cost a lot of money in assessments, and we're probably going to have an assessment on the concrete and spalling repair, of the reinforcement bar this time. But we have an ongoing project where one of our stairwells is completely shut off because they're working on, structural problems there. They've jackhammered away the concrete. I don't know how they're dealing with the reinforcement bars, but there's rust and there's corrosion and there's maintenance that's needed. That is not cheap maintenance. It's expensive maintenance.
It is. It's super sketchy shit because they have to have engineers involved with every second, and those guys charge a ton, and then
and they can pad the work too. And I hope they're not taking us too much for a ride, but we'll see.
Right. Let me go ahead and grab our buddy here, Mr. Vegas.
Here he is.
What's up, buddy?
How are you guys?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Just got my sleep pattern back in order, so I'll only be on till about 12:30.
Just telling my brother to come on here if he wants to come on. He's always. So you're getting your sleep? You're rested? You're feeling pumped?
Yeah, I'm feeling much more healthy since I started going to bed on at a normal hour.
Good.
So I'll be on until about 12:30. I'm going to stay up until and then go to bed.
What are you drinking? Guinness again?
Yeah, just going to have a couple before bed.
Cool.
I'm just
I've been getting to bed around about 11 o'clock most nights now, and it's really doing my health a world of good.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Good man. Very good.
Getting your beauty rest.
But the thing is, I'm up. I get up at 6:30 every morning. Just my normal body clock wakes me up at 6:30 every morning.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's hard for me to sleep late. Mm-hmm. Every now and then I can.
But the thing is, it didn't matter what time I went to bed because I've got school run and everything. My body's just wakes me up early in the morning, ready so that I can get her off to school really early.
Have you been messing with your mic settings? Because there's a big hiss every time you talk. Are you hearing that, Smokesteve?
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting an ambient hiss when you talk.
Okay. I can fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like it goes live when you talk, and then it goes.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, that's the gate. I've got my fan on over there. You might be hearing that.
That's okay.
That's your
But
alien.
it's only a hiss while I'm talking.
Yes.
Yeah, it cuts it off when I've stopped talking because the gate closes.
Oh, the gate.
The gate to another dimension. I knew it. You're an alien.
Can you
the gate on the microphone? It cuts
Yes.
off low noise when I'm not talking.
Right.
Can you prop the gate opened?
I can make it so you can hear the hiss all the time.
That's good, yeah.
Oh, joy.
That'll be less noticeable because it'll just be like ambient background noise. There won't be a swell.
It's
Like
loud.
that.
It's loud.
Can you hear the hiss now?
It's Morse code hiss.
My when I get the fans going here, it's louder than that, isn't it, or not? Not okay. Well, that makes me feel better.
No, I
Would
can't
you
hear
prefer the gate on or off?
I say gate off myself.
Okay.
So that doesn't sound bad.
No.
I guess it's more noticeable when it keeps cutting off when I stop speaking, and then.
Yeah, it's lighter now. It's almost not noticeable now.
All right. Okay.
Obsession with bowel movements is a curse of the elderly. That's right. That's right. Take your Metamucil, happy dog.
Is that in the chat? I can't see that in the chat. Did I miss it?
Yeah, you missed it. It's up a little higher.
Okay.
It's up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
It's there.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're on.
They're going off of scatological humor.
Oh, I was trying to get us out of that, but now we're in that.
Oh yeah, we're back. Sidebars got us going. But you're right. We should be out of that. It's not a nice topic. Let's go. Let's talk about transsexuals instead.
Get enough of that, huh?
Yeah, we got. It keeps going on, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But I go ahead. Excuse me.
No, I want to hear what you were going to say.
I'm very glad that the mainstream, philosophies are beginning to assert themselves against radical activism. It needs to be done. And, there's one of the courses I took, it was a leadership course. I could go find the resource and the site itself, meaning CITE, but there is a very, very, well-known inspirational writer who talks about tribal activity, and not tribal in the terms of primitive tribes, but modern tribal activity. And, basically one of his famous quotes is, it's not necessarily the best ideas that hold sway. I'm paraphrasing, that hold sway over, the power structures of the day, but it's the most fervently, those who most fervently put their ideas forth are the people who prevail in debates and, philosophical arguments. And there has to be more passion coming from the mainstream to counterbalance radical activism. And that's what, the problem is that so many people who are mainstream have a lot more to lose than the radical activists, and they have to be careful, because if they go a little bit outside of the boundaries, so to speak, then the doxing occurs, the organized group attempts try to, go in and affect the employers who are employing the mainstream people. And it's pretty weird, but there's starting to be you watch what happens on Thursday and on Twitter, and there is a very strong pushback now against the worst of the radical, movement. The worst being trans attempting to affect children. That's the worst of the worst, and that's where the fight is being taken right now. And I like to see it a lot, especially when it can be satirized like it is when you look at the shows on Thursday. It gets pretty funny.
Yeah. Now, George, when you say the extremes, do you mean on both sides, left and the right side?
Now, actually, the fight going back against radical left, meaning radical sexual, what can be called deviancy, really. It can come from the mainstream. It doesn't have to come from the radical right. It can come from the mainstream. It's just that the people that are centered in philosophical argumentation need to not lose their jobs and not lose their livelihoods. And so often people in the center are well situated. They're inside the, what's the right word? They're mainstreamed. They're not, I can't think of the word. It's a fancy word, but anyway, they're mainstreamed, and they have good earnings. They have good lives, and they don't need to have their lives upturned and ruined by activism that they may show. So it's difficult for those people who have livelihoods that are good to argue strongly against radical activists, because almost to a person, the radical activists have less to lose than the people who are in the center. I mean, now on the radical right, you also have people who are, and damn it, I'm gonna figure out that 15-cent word that I can't remember, but it has, I think it's called not deconstructed. It's they're basically not in the mainstream, and I don't know. I'm not quite there, to talk fluidly about the topic. I mean, I'm trying to, but it's not happening. Come on, guys, get in here. I need help.
No, I hear you. I think, yeah, what it comes down to, there was a senator, I think she was from Arizona, I want to say recently. She's one of the ones who's really trying to get this bipartisan infrastructure bill passed. And AOC had these comments of like, why she's so concerned with this, but yet she's not concerned with the eviction moratorium and immigration, and calling out this senator who's trying desperately to cross the aisle with Republicans, and her own liberal left side of her own party, progressive, I guess, right, is essentially attacking her in public. And she basically said, I'm not going to acknowledge that question or that statement from her, because what we're trying to do is pass a bill for infrastructure.
Right.
And it's like, she's so right in that the progressive side of her own party is essentially going against her. And yet the main people in her party aren't going against her. It's like they're dividing their own party, with progressive or centrist,
Yeah, there's a certain amount of crumbling of their structure, because it's trying to span a philosophical set of concepts that are way too wide. They're way, some of the activists who now have been able to gain legislative seats are, to put it bluntly, they're batshit crazy. They're just fucked up. They're immature. They're brats. They're not showing anything that looks remotely like, maturity. They're just out there spouting this leftist bullshit. Far left crap.
Right. No, we're not even talking liberal conservative. We're talking far to the perimeter,
right.
left direction.
Yeah.
Biscuit, do you guys have this equal divide amongst the parties where you are, like conservative liberals and like progressive liberals, or
well, we call them Labour over here, but yeah, it's pretty much divided down middle.
But with Labour is the liberal side, right?
Yeah.
So amongst the Labour Party, are there different levels of liberalism and like wokeness, you might say? You know what I mean? Or is it one general idea that kind of everybody follows? You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much the left side is pretty much one-sided.
Okay.
And then obviously the Conservatives are the opposite side, but the Conservatives are probably more split.
Those adjustments you made on your feed are good, man. That's a good look for you.
Yeah.
you got the floating head going on. That's really wise looking.
Yeah. Yeah. See, we're the complete opposite in this country. Like the waters are muddy with applying a particular political label to a person. I think because you could be a pro-gun liberal. You can be a pro-choice conservative. You know what I mean? And those are actually pretty common. You have liberal people who are gun owners here, so you definitely can't, put everybody.
The gun ownership's not really an issue over here.
Right. Now, is like pro-life, pro-choice divided on the same lines in the UK?
I think pro-choice is more common among both parties.
Okay. Yeah,
of what I understand, anyway.
It's pretty well divided here. Pro-choice would be on the liberal side, and
sure,
pro-life would be on the conservative side for the most part.
I think like the Northern Ireland parties and the Welsh parties and Scottish parties, they're more the pro-life choices.
Interesting. Right. And then, of course, Southern Ireland's all Catholics, and they're, we know what they think. Hell no. Hey, look at it. Is that our friend Amy? Can you give us a wave? Little wave. Hey. All right. Cool. Go ahead and add Amy. Hello, Amy.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And yourself?
All right.
I just thought I'd just come online just to say hello.
Cool. Is that you from the chat, Amy?
It is, yeah.
Cool.
All right. Yeah. You're there a lot.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Obviously, I think I hear, the UK, right? You're a UK lady?
Yeah, Liverpool.
Ah, Liverpool. That wacky accent from Liverpool. Yeah, John and Ringo, the old Beatles, all Liverpool guys, right?
Yeah,
anything else?
You gotta love them.
Anything else your claim to fame besides the Beatles?
I was just getting ready to say, aren't the Beatles from Liverpool? Yeah.
You got
Yeah, we got 2 cathedrals, which is like a novelty. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Oh, it's
2
historical.
Premier League football clubs, Liverpool and Everton.
Yeah, cool.
The football clubs? Football?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
nice
out there. I hear about the Liverpool clubs pretty regularly.
Yeah, the owner of the Boston Red Sox owns Liverpool, John Henry.
I didn't know that.
I'm here in Massachusetts, and he also owns a good part of a NASCAR racing team as well. He's got a lot of money, that character. He's got a 150-foot yacht named the Iroquois, parked in Boston Harbor. It's fucking gigantic. And he owns the Boston Red Sox. I mean, talk about showing off a little bit too much there, guy. But
yeah,
he's a venture capitalist, I think. Which, you know what they do? They take other people's money and make money with it. It's brilliant. And then they collect a piece.
Just a touch,
Mhm.
just a billion here or there.
Yeah, I had a friend back in the day trading days. He used to people would give him like a couple $100,000 and he would get to keep 25% of the profit. But if he lost too much, he'd give what was left back and he would kind of be in debt to the person. Man, he made a lot of money doing that in the 90s. You could you could make 1,000 a day, 2,005, 10,000 depending on how risky you were, but when it was guy was brilliant. Very smart dude. Good stocks,
cool.
man. Yeah.
Oh,
You got to know what you're doing in that field, though.
Yeah. See you later, Last Dance. Enjoy the evening. I never.
dance.
Oh, is he off?
Yeah, he's in San Diego. He's gonzo.
Oh, okay.
He's out there with his family, so they're having a little romp. Maybe he'll go down to Bud's and do a workout with the Navy SEALs. I think they're right there in San Diego. Bud's training.
I've been watching the Olympics just day and night, especially once I got my the classes done on, I guess it was Tuesday was really when the last, of the stuff I had to do got done. And I mean, I just, every day there's 3 channels, and I get cable. So there's 3 channels and I would just, constantly rotate between the channels looking for the best stuff. And I mean, canoeing and kayaking and ping pong and badminton and track and weightlifting,
I just watched
wrestling, and boxing.
I just watched a show with Neil deGrasse Tyson. It was talking to a gold medalist Paralympic archer.
Oh, yeah?
Had 0 arms and he won gold medal.
With his feet?
Yeah.
Cool.
And he uses his chin
Did she
to
go?
fire the arrow.
She went.
See you later, Amy.
Bye, Amy. Yeah. That was nice to see her. That's pretty cool. How was the interview?
Oh, it was awesome. He shows you how he does it as well. He's got like this strap that goes around his waist with a trigger that he uses on his chin. And he basically he got as many points as the top archer in normal Olympics.
Wow.
That's cool, man. Kind of reminds me of the guy who used to play guitar with his feet. He played for Pope John Paul. And that fucking guy could play, man. I will never be able to play like him. And he played with his toes. It was insane.
Yeah.
So talented.
Mean, he had the advantage of the fact that he was born that way. So his brain had literally learned to use his feet as hands from birth.
I've seen a few specials of people like that. DeGrasse Tyson did an analysis of the 400 meter hurdles. There was a Brighton, UK, you guys, I don't know if any of you kept up with it at all, but somewhere in the United Kingdom, you have this fantastic runner who set world records this year, and DeGrasse Tyson noted that the UK runner was going over each hurdle with his left leg, whereas the American who was trying to beat him was going over each hurdle with his right leg. And because of the running, counterclockwise around the track, the running and going over each hurdle with your left leg cut like X amount of, part of a meter off your total running. And so he said that the UK runner ran about 4 or 5 meters less than the American runner. And that's one of the reasons that he beat him.
Wow.
It was interesting analysis. It was on Twitter. He did that on Twitter. It was fun.
Was it one of his Star Talk shows where he does like sports?
No, it was just he put it, I heard it was on his website. I wasn't that interested in it, but it was a good footnote, and I watched the race.
They have a sports commentary every Saturday on their Star Talk.
Oh yeah, that might have been that. But anyway, it was sort of amazing because the UK runner was, maybe a 5'10", he was not a big man. and and he was a white dude. And anytime in track and field athletics, that's almost
It's
totally.
not normally those from Kenya or Africa that are quite.
Yeah, I mean, up to about 400 and sometimes up to 800 meters, it's almost entirely dominated by persons of color. And
the shorter distances are usually Black Americans, and the longer distances are usually Africans or African countries.
I mean, so anyway, it was fun.
And Kenyans and that. Mm.
What? Say again?
Ethiopians and Kenyans are really good at like the marathons, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing, man. I mean, they live it. Once they start that, from their childhoods on, there's all these stories that I've seen back, starting about 30 years ago, where they run barefoot. They run hundreds of miles barefoot, and then when you put them into high-tech track shoes, god dang, they're unbeatable.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've loved it. I mean, the ex-swimming that I the swimming history that I have made the swimming just fantastic to watch. And I just watched that, the whole everything about the swimming. I'd watch the reruns, watch the races over and over. The relay, the Caleb Dressel guy, the last day of the swimming, he set 2 world records, one with the relay, one himself. And I mean, he's just love it.
He's an American. I don't even know. I know the name, but I don't really know.
Yeah,
him.
He's a Florida Gator. I was, and he's from, where is it? Green Cove Springs, which is up there between Daytona Beach and Jacksonville. And he's done. They actually made him into Florida Man. So how funny the Florida Man memes and tropes are, and so they've made him into Florida Man, basically, where but Florida Man who's successful, and he played right along with it, and they did a lot of things with Florida Man anyway, and Caleb Dressel, pretty funny.
That's crazy.
God, I can't get enough of it. I hate that it's going to be over here. I guess in the next day or two. It's
exactly
all done.
I don't know if that's true. I don't think so, though.
What's that?
Happy Dog here. Who knows? The guy talks so much shit that you can never really believe anything that he says.
That sounds good.
That bottom comment is actually true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then they can chase not for a couple of hours, but for several hours.
See, now the next one is actually, now we know that part is not.
Yeah, well, they use spears.
Yeah, and the VHS, talk about dating. The reference.
Yeah, well, we can say things that are semi-true without being, overtly provocative.
I think he saved it with the VHS.
Yes,
nobody has those, so it's like a useless.
Yeah,
I mean, I think people are now selling VHS tapes for decent money, like Atari video games.
Oh, they're a classic media source, aren't they?
Yeah, they crush the antelope skulls with the VHS recorders.
What was the one thing the guy was looking for them in the desert? It was an Atari game that got canceled. I think it might have been E.T., the Atari game. They made like 10,000 copies, and then they buried them in a landfill in the desert, and people are searching.
I did hear that. I remember that.
It's crazy.
I don't know what game it was, but yeah, I heard that.
People would pay like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Thousands of the.
Was it the Commodore that was played on like cassette tapes?
Oh, these were Atari games. It was an unreleased game that I think maybe one copy got out of. But I had
Which old console used to use cassette tapes, though?
That had to be the 64, the Commodore.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's very old school.
I'm actually watching the women's, every now and then I'll turn my head. The women's marathon is happening right now, and they're about an hour and 50 minutes into it. Because of the heat, it's not going to be anywhere near the lower, times that are generally run. They're having to run slower because of the heat. But anyway, they've got about another 40 minutes of running to do. Uh-oh. He was talking with his mic.
We don't know where he's gone.
Don't know where he's gone. Yeah, you're on the sidebar quite often, Amy, and I mean you're with the big show, and you're on Twitter. You do Twitter too, don't you?
Oh no, I'm not on Twitter. No.
Oh, okay.
I used to be.
Yeah.
It turns out that I got basically banned from Twitter through no fault of my own.
It doesn't take much with those guys. They're
Did
draconian.
you comment on a subject that was automatically everyone got banned on?
I just think if you followed a certain president in the White House, you kind of like got tarred with the same brush,
Right, got you.
sort of thing.
Right. They've got some
So
interesting.
he screws everyone over basically. So it's like, well, it's clearly a right wing, like anti-right wing type organization. Not that I'd class myself as right wing though, but
I might get banned off of YouTube with what I did earlier. I was watching MSNBC or something like that, some American news channel, and they were on about vaping was more harmful than cigarettes. And I was like, are you for fucking real? You think cigarettes are less harmful than vaping? And I went on a right rant.
Vaping's harmful.
It is
You
harmful,
can get like popcorn lung.
No, that's wrong.
Popcorn
That's absolute bullshit. They used to have this chemical called diacetyl, and there's actually more diacetyl in cigarettes than there ever was in vaping. And because this is a possibility that could cause this problem, they completely removed that chemical from any e-cigarette. So you actually can't get. Yeah, you can't actually get popcorn lung from vaping.
Mm-hmm.
But
from eating popcorn, though.
You're still muted there, Smokesteve.
I'm a dumbass. Am I to understand that Paul Greystone is saying he could run 4 consecutive 4-minute miles? I mean, come on, Paul Greystone. That's fucking fast, guy.
No, in under 4 miles.
No, he said
he is saying that.
That's, That I don't even know if that's possible.
Ran 4 miles 3 times a day, and he could do it in under 16 minutes. Not about
4 miles in under 16 minutes. That is huffing.
I don't know. I don't know about that there, Padre.
Isn't that the classic army training thing?
I don't know. Introducing the fastest man in the world, Paul Greystone, ladies and gentlemen.
I think they do 4 mile in 12 minutes with all the rucksacks and stuff on.
Zen was a big thing back in the 70s. Man, that's when Zen first started hitting. The Zen of Motorcycle Maintenance is a great book. Don't know if anybody ever read that.
Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. That's a good one.
Yeah. You know the book?
I know the book. I perused it. I didn't read it cover to cover, but it's definitely cool.
Perused, man.
Yeah.
You got some gray matter working there.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that don't make sense, does it? Because 4 mile in 15 minutes would be like 20 mile an hour, wouldn't it?
Yeah, start doing the math, dude. It's really fucking fast for that.
He's saying he didn't bother running 4 miles in under 16 minutes. Not a bother, so he didn't bother doing it.
Yeah.
Really? I couldn't run. Well, I can't run anyway. But even in my, I couldn't run 20 mile an hour in a sprint for a second.
Mukbang. What's a mukbang video?
I've seen a guy on YouTube. I mean, this was a lanky feller, a runner, run against one of the automatic traffic things, and he was able to get it to say 22 or 23 maybe, and that was like a feat. This guy was hauling down the street like,
and he couldn't keep it up for any length of time.
No, like 3 seconds, and he was going to die. You know, it was
Right,
insane.
right.
Pretty cool video, though.
I can barely get to 20 mile an hour on a bicycle.
Huh. I got pulled over the other day for going 49 and a 35. The cop did not give me a ticket, but he said it would have been a 49 and a 30, actually. $10 per mile per hour over the speed limit. It would have been 195. He gave me a warning, thank God.
I was watching a rant from a guy called Jay Hayes, and he were on about driving in New Jersey in a 25 mile an hour limit. And he was complaining that the guy was sat like at 25 miles an hour, and he wanted to go a little bit faster because apparently everyone goes a bit faster. And he was pissed off because the tourist from another state was only doing the actual speed limit. And he got pissed off when he was going to turn a corner. He slowed right down to 5 mile an hour, and he got road rage.
Yeah, we have
Road
that problem
rage.
here. There's an area where people go to vacation near here, and for most of the year on the highway, everyone's trying to get home, and we're all driving like 90. But then when the vacation people come, they won't fucking pull out of the left. They're in the fast lane,
right?
and they don't move, and they don't get it. We're not here to have fun. Just let me get home, you fucking people.
Yeah, but what's the rush? I don't get it. Here we stick to the speed limit.
Well, everyone's doing it, so it like cuts 3 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
They can't pull over everybody, so if everyone speeds, it's like you're like a school of fish. That's how they survive. You know?
That's silly though. You can't get pissed off at someone for sticking to the law.
Yeah, that I agree with. Riding someone's actually here on the roads, you know what they allow? They allow during rush hour you can drive in the breakdown lane.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if somebody is broken down and you're doing 80 over there, yeah, you could have a problem. But people do it. They open up the breakdown lanes here, and it's like this scary speed suicide lane.
Oh, dear.
But I do the breakdown lane. I'm a breakdown driver. You don't have that?
No, here it's illegal to drive on the breakdown lane unless you're breaking down.
I'm a slow lane kind of guy nowadays.
Right. Set it at 50, set it and forget it. Just cruise along.
Yeah, got that cruise control, never get in trouble. And I don't even like to go up on the interstates anymore. I could, to go from where sometimes when I have to go to Daytona appointments, that's 20. Sometime it'll be up in Ormond Beach on the other side, 25. And I'd just as soon take the extra 5 and, 10, 15 minutes and go through, surface roads and just go slow. I don't like speed.
Yeah.
I do like going fast. I used to have a 2-stroke 125, and I used to thrash it at 90 mile an hour everywhere, no matter where I was going.
Wild man. Oh man, I tell you, a good bike is great.
But do you know what the only problem with thrashing it a 2-stroke at 90 mile an hour everywhere without checking the oil level?
Did you
Engine
grind it to a stop?
Engine seized up on motorway in fast lane with 2 lorries on my left.
Yeah.
You got lucky, huh?
I had to swerve across the lorries with my back wheel locked up to hard shoulder.
Yeah, you fused the pistons to the engine block.
The whole thing melted together.
Right. Holy fuck.
Gotta watch that.
Well, at least it was only a 125. You didn't do it to like a car,
Well, that's it, yeah. I mean, all it took was taking the block off and just ripping piston out and then reboring it.
You did that or you had it done?
Say again?
Did you do that or your dad do that
I
for you?
didn't do it. I got my dad to do it. He's a mechanic.
Yeah, you had mentioned that before. I was going to say it might have been family job. That saved you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Your dad has the machine.
He refused to do it the second time.
Your dad has the machine.
Oh, yeah?
He's got a piston borer.
No, he just used some sandpaper and then just got it smoother and smoother, and then got a bit better.
Is he a pretty good dad?
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, good.
Apart from the one occasion when he said basically he was trying to get me to eat sprouts, and I refused to eat sprouts, and he held it against me for 3 years for the 3 sprouts that I refused to eat.
Jesus.
And I broke down again, and he refused to pick me up. And I had to call the AA and wait for 6 hours for him to come pick me up.
6 hours.
You had to call the what?
The AA.
Alcoholics Anonymous. They picked you up and took you to treatment.
No, it's a company over here that does roadside assistance.
Yeah,
road
I got
recovery.
it.
We have
Yeah.
AAA over here.
Oh, double A is the UK, triple A in the
Automobile
US.
Association. Mm.
Amy, you're a little behind. Say that again.
So that's the thing stands for the Automobile Association.
I got
That's
it.
right. Yeah.
Double A. Yeah, for a minute I was like, George, he's right. It is Alcoholics Anonymous. He was on the ground. They picked him up.
I'm being snarky as hell.
Speaking of Alcoholics Anonymous, look who it is. Aphid
Hey.
in the house. In the house. What's up, guy?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Going good.
How are you?
Good week. I got a couple of weeks of vacay. Relaxation.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, relaxation.
Hey, look who it is, Aphid. It's your favorite wise guy.
He loves me.
Yeah,
you
I
guys
made
are all
I made
buddies.
straight A's this semester. I did.
Well, good for you.
I
Congratulations.
did. I was so smart. Yes, I am smart. SMRT. Smart.
It sounded like you said straight A's with a G instead
I
of
did.
straight.
I was.
That's
I
really
did. I did. I certainly did. That's how you talk. Straight A's, man.
great. Straight A's. That's great.
I'm just doing straight.
Skinhead degenerate.
Now that In the House is on, he's here.
I did my left testicle for Aphid's garden.
I'm
That's
getting
nice.
I'm getting a long visit from the chat
That's
today.
nice.
See that? You've been visited now for what, 5,
Yeah.
10 minutes? I'm surprised.
Sounds like a cardinal in the background.
It could be if these earphones pick up. I put these earbuds in this time because it just gives me so much freedom. I don't worry about a cord or anything, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think the audio is as good as anything else.
No,
So
it is.
bad audio.
You're coming through loud and clear.
It's good.
Good.
I think on
Sounds
this show,
good.
as long as we can understand what you're saying, it doesn't really matter about the quality.
Right. Right. Well, I will make sure to speak at a good volume and legible.
Okay.
Shoot that bird first, and then we'll talk. No, hey,
See, the funny thing is I can't hear the bird at all.
we missed you on Thursday, guy. You weren't there. You missed the big show.
Well, I came by at the beginning and came by at the end.
Yeah, late. I saw you late.
You
It's so tough for me, you know, what during the week, you know, like when sometimes they're off and they don't start till 5 our time. Well, it'd be 6 your time, you know, and it's much easier for me to catch. But when they get, you know, the daylight savings thing, when they start at 4 o'clock on my time in the afternoon, you know,
are you
sometimes it's just-
still working?
Oh yeah. I got people like yesterday. I had somebody in my shop during the middle of the trigger warning show.
A customer?
Yeah, so and I have them because I have a big smart screen TV in my shop, so I stream it to that. But when somebody comes to the front door, I just hit pause because I don't want them hearing,
Right.
you know, what Hayden's talking about. It doesn't seem appropriate, you know.
No, it's not.
They might not stay a loyal
Yeah.
customer,
No politics or religion while you're doing business.
Right.
You know that.
or transsexual talk, which is a 75% chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has
So-
gone down a bit on the big shows, but it's still omnipresent. That's for sure. The transsexual talk. There were
Yeah,
a few weeks where it was
pedophiles and
100%.
transsexuals.
I think Amy's frozen.
Wasn't last week yesterday's show 100% transsexual? talk.
Well, no, there was times when he was interacting with the crew. I mean, I was breaking his balls about the death penalty.
I meant the topics were 100% transsexual.
Well, I was breaking his chops about the death penalty. Did anyone catch my John Wayne Gacy comment?
I did. I did catch that. Yeah.
I tried to get him with some kind of bizarre circular logic where I said in the end, so Hayden, you're defending John Wayne Gacy? He's like, I don't know if that fucking shit goes down at the pub, dude, but it doesn't go down here, okay? You know, and I was like, okay, yeah, he got me. I was trying to just reverse.
I remember him saying that.
Reverse the argument on him, but
you were trying to include him into an entire group that he didn't want to be a part of.
Well, he doesn't think that, as far as I could tell, capital punishment should be for anybody. So I went with an extreme case.
Yeah.
John Wayne Gacy, you know?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it, you know? I think they should let the people, the option, they don't have to make them, but like, let's say he does something to one of your loved ones, you should have the option to be in a room with whatever blunt instrument you choose and have your time with them, you know, if it's proven that they were definitely, you know, if you don't want to take that route and that barbaricness.
I mentioned that I killed a freaking duck and he didn't like that one bit.
That was hilarious.
No, I heard that too, actually. Must have been.
Graham was like the duck crusader. He was like, you killed the fucking duck, man. Come on. Like,
yeah. I mean, I couldn't tell if they were saying dog or duck. What did you kill?
Yeah, it was a duck, but I felt super guilty, not for the duck, but for the 7 chicks that came out of the because I shot it while it was in the river and then caught it with a net. But what followed it after I'd shot it was 7 little chicks. And I felt super guilty.
Hello, Danza.
What? Hey. Say dog, Biscuit.
Dog.
Now say duck.
Duck.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same word, dude.
Close. I could see your little pal's looking a little concerned there, if he looked, wasn't sure.
He was checking out the surroundings, was he?
What's that one's name?
This is Chip. Chipston. Chip for short. Happy Dog actually helped me out with these 2 dogs, and he told us not to worry, and that was a relief. And now they are good pals. He was right. We shouldn't have worried.
You mean Happy Dog was there in your yard?
No, but we Skyped him for a while, and he gave me some advice.
Oh, he's a dog guy, huh?
Yeah, well, I mentioned it, I think, with Hayden, and he's like, you know, this is what you need to do. So I was like, well, hey, you know, you want to do a private conversation with me and my wife, and we'll talk about, you know, he seemed to be very knowledgeable on the subject, and or at least as far as we were fooled if he wasn't.
Well, right. His name is Happy Dog, so clearly he does like dogs.
That's right, Happy Dog.
I catch myself if I'm walking down the beach or something, and a dog wants to come up and say to me, I'll say, hey, Happy Dog, and like pet the thing. And I think in my head, I never said that before I met this Happy Dog character online. But people are like, yeah, he is a happy dog, you know? Or it's a pit bull. And I'm
visually
like,
he does. Visually, he doesn't match the name.
Right, yeah. Sad dog.
Yeah.
He's always, every time I've seen him,
grumpy dog.
Grumpy dog.
He's had a smile. He smiles good. He smiles good, you know.
Disturbed human being. That's a better title for him.
Yeah, don't insult dogs, right?
Yeah.
Disturbed human being. Exactly.
No, but he did help. He did. He was very helpful, and we kind of were put at ease because they were just at each other the whole time. You know, he's like, they're just playing. You know, you don't need to worry. But the one is so much bigger than the other, and when they started out, this one was bigger than the puppy. You know, and the puppy outgrew it and was like, remember all that shit you gave me? You know.
Uh-oh.
You're on mute if that's why you think your feed's died, Amy.
So, he was
Oh, there
right.
she
They were
goes.
just kind of establishing territorial dominance, I
That's
guess.
okay.
Right. Oh, there she is.
There you go, Amy.
I
Cool.
just saw you say you think
It did freeze before, so I decided to click out of everything and back into it again. It's fine now.
Oh, you're all up and running now.
Got some good audio. It's pretty good. Frame rate's a little bit slow on the video, but you're still good.
I'm on my mobile
Interesting.
phone, or my cell phone, as you Americans like to call it.
Right.
World record runner Paul Grayston says he helped draft dodgers from Vietnam and England. World record
Yeah.
runner.
Well, that had a certain moral, authority to it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
A little out of left field, but very, very interesting information.
It was early on. Weren't we talking a little bit about that? Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, it was.
He's had some good points. I mean, just all through the sidebar he came on.
Well, my apologies.
And he runs fast too. He's a fast runner.
Like Flash Gordon.
Oh.
What do you guys think we should do about the Taliban in Afghanistan?
Nothing.
We should ban the tally.
Leave
ban those tallies.
Afghanistan to it.
No tallies.
I don't know. Send over Ollie North with about 9 million AK-47s. Arm the people. Let them fight their own war. We're out.
I think we should give them some
Ollie
of those.
North, warmonger.
What are those drones called again? The really long white one with upside down wings.
Drone techs. I don't know what they're called.
It's got a weird name, but it's got sidewinder bombers and stuff on it.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
Do you think we should give the Afghan army
Kill.
some of them?
No, I don't think we should be involved on any capacity, unmanned or manned. Just maybe the wars are going to be happening there forever. Get out, stay out. It's not our.
Yeah.
Just keep the monitoring thing. Let's avoid another massive terrorist attack.
Think that because we've been involved for so long that we have some sort of humanitarian obligation to help.
This is what's going to happen. This is my theory. And I think what's going to happen is, within 10 years, they'll get to a point where they can attack either us or some of our interest in some way. And then we'll go back over there and we'll bomb the shit out of them and be over there for 5 to 10 years again.
You don't think the Afghan army?
The cycle will just go over and over and over for life.
You don't think the Afghan army might have figured out how to tackle them by then?
No. There's huge areas of land that are controlled by the Taliban now. You know what I'm saying? If they controlled everything, at least they'd have a running start. But when you got a country
they've just taken over the capital.
Kabul?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Like news from biscuit vapes.
Well, I know a lot of their bridges that go into other countries. Those areas are controlled by the Taliban. So it makes life pretty difficult when that's the case.
Cut off the supply lines.
You got that Afghanistan, Pakistan. I don't know what you call it. They're cooking with each other's honey over there.
There you go.
They don't have a good track record of making big factories and their citizens building destructive weaponry to take care of themselves. So, I don't give them a lot of hope.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I do think there are a lot of good people there, but
oh yeah, and it's like the land there. I know it's desert, but there's a lot of important land, in that part of the world.
There were guys.
Maybe they need to find a new Saddam Hussein.
That's a possibility.
Well, I mean, if I don't know, I try to be optimistic about it, and hopefully there can be, an integration, business-wise, industry-wise, to get them more focused on what happened, say, with Japan and the rebuilding after World War II, where they became a powerhouse in business in the world, and there's every reason that other cultures can do that as well.
I mean, they've got
instead of
plenty of
make war with each other's countries like
if
idiots.
they got their act together and started being peaceful, and they've got plenty of resources to build on.
Exactly.
Their only benefit,
Yeah, exactly.
their only benefit is if the rest of the world floods, we're all going to be looking for dry areas, and they got that covered.
No.
They grow fabulous. They grow fabulous heroin poppies and cannabis over there. I mean, they have a really good.
I've heard that's not actually true.
No, it is true.
Well, cannabis. I don't know about. Yeah, I guess they do both.
They have really, really good poppy farms.
I'm not excited about that, but it is true.
And if you don't develop it into something really addictive, it can just make opium, which is fabulous from what I hear.
That's right. You just heard about it. That's exactly.
Yeah.
I tell you, all those pills I did for about 7 years, all prescribed, by medical, pain management practitioners. It'll take you right, into a euphoric zone. But the problem is that it just plays biological hell on you.
I've had these cocodamol tablets now for 3 weeks. I think I've had a grand total of 8 tablets in 3 weeks.
You mentioned that you can't take them regularly because I'm not sure why.
I can take them regular, but I choose not to because I don't need them that often.
Good choice.
I only need them if I need to get up and about, walk further than I normally do. Because otherwise I'd be in too much pain.
That's the responsible way to take any kind of opioid, and so
like
many
I said,
people
I've had a grand total. I've had a grand
do
total of 8. I've had no more than 2 in a day.
Yeah.
And don't take them when you're about to have a few Guinness.
I didn't eat in over a week.
Good.
But even so, I still would drink after some.
Still up there.
No, yeah, you don't want to mix booze and pills, man. That's like the worst combination.
If I've only had two cocodamols, that's not going to hurt with a bit of beer.
Yeah, you get a real fuzzy, warm feeling in your chest too. You'll be like, "Let's listen to some tunes, man. This feels great." Yeah.
Like right now, I've got a really bad shooting pain down my left leg, but I'm not going to take any painkillers because I know I'm going to go to bed. And when I go to bed, that pain will go away.
You should be a cannabis user, man. That I think it would help you.
I can't do it. It doesn't affect me that way. I've tried.
Oh, Gilly.
It makes
Happy Dog should
now.
Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Happy Dog should come in here and tell us about his wealth knowledge of Afghanistan and other parts of the world.
He should.
Oh, definitely.
Come on.
There's not that many people around. You might as well come in.
Right.
Well, he's saying he'll give us dough if you take your shirt off, which he calls a top, which is disturbing.
He does. He is quite a fan of yours, Mr. Apes.
It was on about your shirt, Aphid.
Oh, he's talking about my shirt. Oh,
yeah.
That was his wife. Must have got a hold of the keyboard for a second. Don't mind that.
I heard that you stole her away from him.
I sure did.
My hair's growing out. It's going to be as long as Steve's in a year.
Super chatted. Yeah, Amy, it does. You keep freezing up a little bit.
I mean, you're welcome to hang out.
Great to have you on. Yeah. Nice to see you. I don't think I've ever seen your face before, and it's a good-looking face. Appreciate you coming on.
Amy, you can always
Amy.
You can come on and freeze up. We have 6 openings here, so
plenty of room for you.
I don't care. Freeze up. A human being who's half frozen like 50% of the time is better than nothing. So we'll take it, Amy. Come on back if you want. Pay up the War Department.
Fresh beer.
Good job, baby.
Well, the women's volleyball, Olympic volleyball was exciting to see. Very athletic.
Yeah. A lot of them, they're some of them are complaining about the bikinis. Some of them are.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that it would be a reasonable enough change to not have that. I mean, it is it is somewhat unique. Although, when you look at it, every time I see the stupid track guys line up, with those little lycra suits, I just want to take a bat to their gonads. It's like chapeau. It's a bad impulse that I have up there. It's like, you fuckers, I'd like to take a bat to your nuts, and then it's like, okay, there's that.
I've also heard some of the women like it and think it's a good thing for the sport.
Oh yeah, of course the women would think that.
No, I mean they're the volleyball ladies who come out to work. So
my head's going all over the place now.
So at 4 p.m. on any given Saturday, you don't see men's beach volleyball on ABC or NBC. You see women's in bikinis.
Right. Now
that's got to be millions of dollars a year for that broadcast contract that goes to the athletes, basically. So, I mean, they are furthering their sport with that, right? The bikinis.
Yes, play with the cat. Yes, they're furthering the sport. They are.
The popularity.
It is. It's very popular. When they get done, they get those hands on their knees and the camera's behind them. Right. It's like, man, they're athletic.
Exactly.
Right, guys. I'm gonna leave you to it. I'm gonna watch on my phone from my bed.
All right, dude.
Okay. We'll see you, Biscuit.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
See you next week. Bye.
See you next week. Bye.
Right. I don't know, Amy. I mean, that's something. It's something to say that.
Yeah. Wearing shorts would be fine. Fine with me. I mean,
short shorts?
No, she means shorts instead of bikini. Yeah. I mean, it's discreet. You want to be discreet.
Basically, yeah, they are, Amy, and that's part of the popularity of it, I think. And yeah, I know exactly. Steer Pike, men looking at fit young women. Imagine my shock, right?
Even the Queen wears knickers.
Disturbing. Shorts only, says Thirsty Drunk. All right.
Like no top.
Maybe Piss Jug Men will come on and tell us what he thinks, or they think.
It's Friday. They might not find you.
They were here last Friday.
Oh, it was Friday, wasn't it?
It was.
What's the deal with Fridays? You like Fridays better?
No. Saturdays are just a busy day for me. I've got a big family barbecue tomorrow, and there's no way I'm gonna close things down at 5 and drive home. It's at my brother's house with my dad, who's up from Florida. I have to kind of be there. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really, your dad's up from Florida? Mm-hmm. He's West Coast, isn't he?
He is. He's
Florida West Coast, yeah.
Gulf guy near Siesta.
Yeah. You mentioned before. Cool.
But he said the red tide's coming in and the fish are dying.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think I was only here last week for about 15 minutes, without a video feed.
Was that when your brother was in the background?
Yeah,
you had some kind of family get together or something.
Yeah. We had a cheese fondue that was not a success.
Yeah, the cheese fondue.
And then we had regular what was the other fondue? It wasn't chocolate. We did have chocolate later for dessert, but it wasn't in the fondue form. What's the other fondue form that's the regular?
It's meat with oil, like hot oil that you dip
that's what we had, was basically real hot oil, and we had all sorts of vegetables and different meats, to put in, and it was great. It's fun.
Raw meat, right? Raw.
Yeah. We had she has all these little tiny fondue fork skewers, that you skewer the little bits on. She had diced them all up, perfect size.
Now, when you put the meat in, is it bubbling like it's in a fryer-later?
Sort of. Okay. Yeah, lightly. It's not quite as hot. She had bought, there was an outlet that had been repaired by a repair guy, a handyman, and it had originally been for a 220 air conditioner, and she didn't it looked exactly like a 110 outlet, and she took her what was it? Isn't there an electromagnetic type hot plate that doesn't have a hot, but it uses.
Yeah,
It,
I know what you mean.
and she had one of those she used it all the time, stuck it right into that 220 outlet, and that was the end of her hot plate, so we had to go buy another hot plate, to make this work and to make the fondue work, to heat it up.
You're telling
And
me some bizarro jackass maintenance man put 220 through a 110 outlet?
Right, exactly.
Oh my God.
And we that was the first time someone had tried to plug an appliance in, and hey, I mean, luckily it didn't do any more damage than just fry the appliance, but had to go buy it. And then that hot plate, it had 2 hot plates on it. One of those didn't work. It was a piece of shit, $35, 2-plate hot plate. And but we made do. We were all in great good humor. I mean, after it was all over, I got her boyfriend to just I started using the voice like this and talking about how I was a broken man and I used to be a Terminator. I mean, I just kept going with that about between 5 and 10 minutes, and both of us were laughing, and the back of my head started hurting. I was laughing so much, and he was laughing, and we had a great time.
Yes, that's an induction cooktop, says the basic.
Induction. That's fried that induction right out there with that 220.
That's crazy.
A lot of fun. But I missed I watched the show, later. I always watch the shows. In fact, before I came on this show, I was watching one that was about, I watched the show where Graham and the what's her name? Interlude, had their scuffle. I watched that show, part of it, and then I watched a whole nother show. I had a great time, and I was bald, on those shows. So it's nice to see the difference between bald me and hairy
like
me.
this.
Yeah, about like that.
Yeah. I remember. What was I just going to say? Yeah, the bald. Oh, she came on last week just when I was ending the show. She came up in the comments here on the live
That's
chat.
right. I remember seeing that. I do remember seeing that.
And man, I'd love to have her
cool.
back. It seemed like she would have come on, but I was kind of tired.
Oh yeah, it was right at the end of the show. I remember. Yeah, you were signing everybody off, and that's when she showed up.
Yeah, I was considering continuing, but I was done. Happy days. Yeah, we all remember that. Steer Pike.
So you guys want to hear about my interesting week that I've had?
Yeah.
I didn't want to jump in there because it's kind of a long story, but now that everybody's quieted down, I figured what the hell. So my son, he's got 2 lazy eyes, and he was getting surgery today to get them corrected. God. So he can't swim for like 2 weeks after the surgery because, obviously the infection and all that stuff, So he really wanted to go to this public pool because they have these slides and stuff. And we always do the 2 like Wet Willies type slides, but they got one that shoots you out like 4 or 5 feet over the water and you slam into the water, And so we went there and we did the other slides a couple times. And then I'm like, because last year we couldn't go because they never opened because of COVID, So I'm like, you're big enough where you could just go up and down these stairs by yourself. I don't even need to go with you every time, do I? He's like, I can do it. So he got up the courage and he went down the big one that shoots you out like 5 feet over the water. And he dropped like a sack of potatoes. And he came up and he was, you could tell he was going to start crying. And I'm like, he don't cry in public. So I knew, and my wife was there. She saw him too. And we knew something went right.
Did you go in?
No, he got out of the water. He was just walking to where we were sitting, which was only like 20 feet away. And he knew we were looking at him and everything. And he come over and he just starts bawling. He's like, my head hurts so bad. It's like worse than it's ever hurt ever,
Oh,
And I'm like, geez, man, what? I'm just thinking at that time, water shot up his nose. Because he was complaining that water shot up his nose and everything, And I'm kind of like, yeah, it sucks, but you're just gonna have to sit this one out for a minute, And he's like, no, I can't take it. Make it stop. I can't take it, And so he goes and sits in the nurse's lifeguard station. They got like a bed. And they were like, this has never happened before. And we didn't know what to do, I just wanted to get him in the truck and take off. And then we'd sit in the truck, just the three of us, me, my wife, and my son, and figure out what to do next. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe go to urgent care, because they were talking like ambulance and stuff. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I just don't know if it's that level. So I told him, I'm like, look, if the ambulance comes and gets you, we're going to go home, or we're going to go to the hospital. They might keep you overnight, And he's like, just don't talk. I can't take it, And I'm like, I'm just letting you know. And he's like, well, go get the car, and we'll get the car. So I went and got the car, and that's when he projectile vomits like all over everything, and craps his pants simultaneously at the same time.
Oh man, concussion.
And yeah, that's we went to the ambulance came and took him from the pool, the public pool. We were those people where everybody was like staring at, This is 2 nights ago. And he's got surgery today. So we were at the hospital like all night, and they it's a COVID situation, red alert at the hospitals right now. I don't know if you guys have heard.
Yes.
But it is. And you get there and it's like the whole lobby, and there's people waiting outside because they won't let people inside and stuff. And we were there for like 5 hours, and they said he had a concussion. And then, we dealt with that. We didn't get home till late. We were all in our swim trunks, and he didn't even have drawers to put on to go home, because he crapped his.
Oh, poor kid.
And so then we, yesterday was like recovery time and everything. And then today we wake up and first thing go to the hospital to get his eye surgery. They're doing both his eyes, or they did. And there was like a lot of like confusion and like, well, should we do it? Should we not do it? He had a concussion, but, and then, they did it, and he's fine. He's totally fine. And he's upstairs. Everything's cool. But then I got home at after you started your show tonight. So it's like,
well, now I feel bad about pestering you to get your
no, because I was all ready to go on when I got home.
I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Trust me, not at all.
Okay.
And I mean, first of all, you would never. I totally understand that there's no way you would have any idea. But on top of that, no. But anyway, so yeah, so then he, we had a little out here after I had everything set up. He came outside. My wife was out here and everything, so we were talking a little bit about the day's events. But it's been one of those weeks, man. It's just like Jesus, man. Being a parent sometimes is tough.
Yeah.
Very big scare. The follow up on that, there's probably
on what his concussion.
Follow up appointment. With either the GP.
Well, I mean, he goes to see the eye surgeon. We were at the ER. And I don't know. So you've heard that people have thrown up with getting a concussion before?
Yeah, I know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm. He didn't hit his head. So that was
you don't have to hit your head.
That's what the ER, they said it's the brain sloshing against the skull that causes a concussion.
You don't know what happened at that slide, man. He might have been like sitting up. He might have hit it against the top of the thing. Who knows?
Yeah, he knows he didn't do any of that. He's real like he's 12, so you can pretty much believe what he's saying.
Maybe when it came off, he clipped it on the back or hit the water.
I mean, you think that too, but they tested like if he hit his head on anything. They don't think he hit his head on anything. They think it was the trauma of his head hitting the water. And then like water shot up. Because he thought it was from the water shooting up his nose. That's what he thought caused it. But he didn't hit his head on anything.
Pretty severe, that's for sure.
Yeah, if at the moment he didn't have any spatial awareness and he hit the water at a weird angle, water can catch you by surprise. If
yeah.
Like
I think
diving,
that's what.
If you don't know where the water is, you can get fucked up. Like if you hit corked out to the side a little, thinking you're straight, So maybe, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he got rocked is what happened.
Yeah.
And then I
Sorry.
felt kind of bad because I was kind of in the camp of, you know, I wasn't like sitting there like, son, you need to suck this up. You know, I wasn't like that at all. But I was kind of in denial over the severity of the situation until he threw up all over the place.
Right.
Boy, that's scary.
Then we get to the ER, and you know, there's the 2 paramedics, 2 dudes, like in their 20s. There's at least 3 nurses in there, and a doctor and whatever else, tech or whatever, and then me and my wife. And he had to sit there and like clean his butt because he crapped his pants. Oh, poor guy.
Wow.
His dignity was just like shredded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's severe.
Poor little dude.
I'm glad you took him to the ER. I mean, that's the key.
He's never had a concussion, as far as you know, before.
No.
I would say no long-term effects. Concussions for kids.
No, he was fine. He was fine within like almost by the time that they got there. He still had a little bit of a headache.
Right.
But you know, shortly after we got there, he wasn't like you couldn't even talk to him really when it first happened. Like he was like, you know, and you know, he was you know, pretty
lucid.
He didn't want to deal with the situation. He just wanted to go away. You know, that's all he cared about. He didn't care about, you know, trying to communicate what was going on with them.
Yeah. He just
Wow.
go home.
Right.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
And then you got all those, you know, you when you go to those places, a public swimming pool, it's nothing but like 15 to 17-year-old lifeguards working there. And that's what we had to deal with. They were really sweet, but they had no clue on what to do, or they didn't even, the one girl, there was 2 girls that kind of helped us at the end, and they were like, well, what do we do to call 911? Or what do we do to get the paramedics? And the other girl was like, you call 911?
Yeah, right. What's the number?
Oh.
Yeah, clueless.
But yeah, so the last 48 hours or so, it's been, and it's sitting in and like the ER with their uncomfortable chair for 5 hours. And then today, you know, he got out of surgery and everything was fine, but we still sat around in there for like another 2 or 3 hours. So a total of, you know, like 6 hours of wanting to leave and you can't has been like, I'm just like, oh, I'm so done with it.
This might be a tiny bit off base, but have you considered talking to a personal injury attorney about that?
You know, I got hurt a lot when I was a kid, and when I was playing baseball and messed up I hyperextended my arm, and then I pulled it back and it snapped the bone off the elbow here, and I had to get surgery. But I was playing baseball on a ball field, and my parents didn't do nothing about it. Well, I mean, obviously, health-wise, I got fixed. But they didn't look into the financial aspect of it at all.
Right.
And we ended up getting a check from the YMCA, because that was the ball fields I was playing on, for like all expenses paid and then some. It was like another couple thousand, you know, this is back in 80s.
Right.
But another couple thousand on top of that. And my parents never even looked into that. So I thought about it. I don't know. I don't know. Like part of me is like, well, you know, maybe that thing isn't safe. But then part of me is like, man, when I was a kid and I'd see like a diving board get taken out or something, you know, I was always like, man, who ruined it for the rest of us? You know what I'm saying? So I'm torn on, you know, what to do. You know what I'm saying? Because we knew, you know, it was a big jump into water. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
And I really feel strongly, I've always felt really strongly on people took advantage of that situation too much. So I hate to just be a hypocrite and jump on the bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? Because I see people, some people that like, and I'm not, you know, I don't know what your history is if you've done something like this, but like people that worked at places and stubbed a toe and got like tons of money over. You know what I'm saying?
No, I've never.
It's always
I've never had
done that.
Slip and fall suing or anything like that.
It's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way how people take advantage.
I had one time I had an attorney, you know, significantly evaluate my effort to initiate a lawsuit against a physician, and they said no, there's not enough there for it to move forward. But yeah, but I did initiate that effort one time against a physician, and it came to nothing. But anyway, your situation is a little different. I mean, I don't know. That's
I mean, here's
significant.
the financial end of the situation is I have really good insurance, and he's far exceeded any deductible we have this year. Trust me, because my son, he's got issues, or not issues, but physical. He goes and sees the doctor. Let's just say he goes and sees the doctor and has
I understand
stuff a lot. So that's all been exceeded. So I don't even know if this event will cost me a dime. So if I did sue, it's just gonna, be for some personal gain. I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it. But I'm open to somebody that's gonna say something to make me feel like, oh yeah, you should go ahead with it. You get $15,000 in your.
If I had my, I don't have children, but if I had a child and some recreational activity that was touted as being
that you pay
for the common, for the common person to have fun and enjoyment at an amusement park, a water park, and then, that event caused the kind of things to occur that you have just mentioned, I would be pretty miffed. I would be quite irritated.
Upset at who though? What would you be upset at?
Well, what you would have to do
the engineering of the ride itself.
You would have to call.
But I rode it though, and I've been down it. It sucked. When I hit the water, I was like, I ain't doing that shit again.
Right. Well, you have a fairly developed physique, whereas he's is he an athlete in any way?
No, he's sure.
So
unless you count playing Minecraft.
Yeah, you've got a little person's body being thrown around with the physics of what's supposed to be an amusement ride, and it traumatizes him to the level where he needs medical attention, and he has something that is completely humiliating occur. That's not okay. I'm going to be a dick and say talk to a personal injury attorney and see if there's
a case. Be a dick.
Let me put it to you this way.
You're not being a dick. I'm being the dick.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I have a relative, not to get too specific, more than that, under the age of 18, who busted his teeth up on a slide on a cruise ship, and on a settlement, they got $80,000.
Oh my God!
And that was like the cruise ship company just saying, "Shut up. Here's $80,000."
Right.
So that's context. The kids were being wise asses, overloaded on the slide, from what I hear, being dumbasses, and they still got $80,000.
I know, but see, to me, that's completely wrong.
Yeah, but these companies fill the cruise ships full of people, and then they all get fucking giardia and shit, and they fucking puking for a week, and they make $3 million. I think a little lawsuit once in a while for their callousness.
Well, I mean, on top of that, though, this is a public place, so the worst, they would take the slide out for other kids to enjoy, which from all intents and purposes, when the lifeguards seemed like there was no history of sketchiness happening. It wasn't like they were like, oh, here we go again. No, I know, but they're kids. They're like towing these kids aren't towing the party.
You said public place. Was it a private property? You paid?
No, it was a public swimming pool for the city of St. Charles, and I live in the county of St. Charles.
Right. Yeah. You're right. You're going to be suing the city. That's not as
right.
You're not suing Norwegian cruise lines.
I'm suing my neighbors for paying their taxes. Is what I'm doing.
I hear you.
So I don't know. Plus, like I was telling you, walked away, Smokesteve, but I felt strongly over the past about I even made live leak videos about people and taking advantage of these situations.
Well, I could hear you.
The city has insurance, and
they do.
And the insurance has reinsurance. So you actually would be suing a multinational insurance company. And I think you should.
That's true.
I'm just going to say it outright. You should do it. You should talk to an attorney. I'm sorry, but that story just pisses me off when I.
Well, at the very least, it's food for thought, and I appreciate it.
It doesn't piss me off at you. It pisses me off at the people that engineered that slide ride. That's
Right.
bullshit.
If you're taking money from like AIG or Lloyd's of London, in the end, you're not taking it from Maricopa County or wherever.
Right,
you live,
right.
You know, St. Charles County,
Yeah.
whatever that is. Yeah, Maryland, Philadelphia. I don't even know. What do you got? Some
But still,
beef?
man, that's a messed up week, man. That's just a messed
Yes,
up
it
week.
is. I'm
So
sorry.
it's
you had
nice to sit back and enjoy the company of you two tonight.
Sorry that you
Sip
and
on
your
a cold
wife and
one.
your son had to go through that.
Yeah, totally. Is your lady watching the pub tonight?
It's hard to tell. If she does, she's sitting down in the living room, or we got a little living room space set up in the basement with a big screen TV, and that's where she would be watching it. But I'm outside, so I have no idea. She has me run it on there so she can watch it. So there's a good chance she is.
Cool. Did you get that picture I sent you earlier?
I did. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't know. But yeah, what kind of fish is that?
Striper, can you put that? Is it on your phone? Are you on your phone?
I'm on my. I'm on a Chromebook, and no. I mean, I can put it on my phone and like hold it.
I did that already. It just doesn't do justice to the background and the beauty of the clouds.
I've been having a shit of a time trying to do rehab. I'm seeing a physical therapist for my elbow, for the tennis elbow and the torn, partially torn triceps extensor tendon. And goddamn, the therapy exercises make it hurt. And I don't think, I'm having to stop the physical therapy. It hurts so bad. And when I stop,
man,
it's fine.
Well, yeah, but I mean, long term, it depends. If it's hurting, that means that, because I've been through a lot of physical therapy, and there's two different types of physical therapy. There's the ones that you go into, and it's like a social hangout where like there's people just hanging out, and not giving a shit about really your care. Yeah. And then there's the ones that work you. And like you come out of there and you're like, damn, that sucks. And the good ones are the latter. So, I don't know exactly what you're going through, but that means that they're putting you through the ringer.
I've done so much physical training that I know the difference now between, injury pain and training pain. And what I'm feeling doesn't, the therapist explained to me like the radial nerve, comes up through here and really fucks with, this area, the fingers right in through here. When you're trying to do therapy. I have those. I don't have opposable thumb.
Well, you don't want to jack that up, man. Seriously, I had a bad mess up with my thumb, and it's like you don't want to mess because your fingers, each one of them, like you can make up for it with the other three, but with your thumb, man, there's no making up for that. You don't want to mess with your thumb.
Yeah.
So if your thumb is involved, make sure to go through with that therapy.
No, it's just a mess. But I'm gonna do stuff here at home, and I'm getting my C6 C7 has a bone spur on it in my cervical vertebra, and in about a week and a half, I'm going to get an injection that's designed to knock out the peripheral nerves pain that's occurring because of that. They're called dermatomes, and each of the cervical vertebra has a dermatome, and so do the thoracic vertebra, the nerves that come out from each of the spinal segments. It's called dermatomes, and the dermatome that's involved with C6 C7 runs down the arm, all the way down the arm to the thumb, and this finger here, that opposable thumb that I don't have. Damn it, I can't grip anything. I'm telling you.
Oh man, that sucks.
But anyway, yeah, it does. I've got a good spirit about it. I'm not going to get into it. You guys know how I can get into that friggin', and make this into what is called Smokesteve's telehealth hour. So I'm not going to do that. But anyway, that's my bad week. Is that, I just said, to myself, fuck this. This is not rehab pain. This is tendon tell me to fuck off pain,
Right.
So I'm going to do some of it. I actually, I've got two. I've got different items like this one. This is for rolling on the back side of the underside of the elbow and doing gripping shit. To
Yeah.
Repeats, and then I've got a much bigger one that's designed to work a little bit of strength work, and I've got a tiny dodgeball coming in that will be you take it up like this up the wall, and it like you said, it sort of makes all the tendons of the forearm, and the hand, it makes everything work, the wrist, the forearm,
Right.
the fingers, and I'll be rolling the ball up and down the wall. I'll do a lot here, but I'm just. And another thing I didn't like at all about that fucking rehab place is that there's this sand spa. You stick your arm into this big, tank that's got sand in it, and then the sand heats up. And I got thinking, I'm not getting everything washed off after it. So, dozens of people are sticking their hands in there, and who knows where their fingers have been, and then that's all going into the sand. Like, fuck that, So anyway, I'm done with it.
Smokesteve, you leaving and playing it out?
Playing it out.
No, I'm going to play somebody in.
All right.
This is their third week in a row, so they're going to get a song. It's Chuck Man. It's Chuck Man. It's Chuck Man. It's Chuck Man. All right.
Introed.
It's Chuck Man in the house.
Hey.
Big
not so much.
Nothing. Big nothing.
They'll come. They're coming.
Yeah. All right, let's
tell them to turn off some of their LED lights that are growing those plants. Get a little more power.
They probably heard the song, and that was pretty much it. Now they're gone.
They were like,
okay, cool.
They're like, I'm out of
Good
here.
to see you, Piss Check Man. All right. Yeah, no, they'll be back.
Yeah, I'll be back.
We actually interviewed a viewer. Unbelievable. What are you drinking over there?
Blue Moon.
What do you own? Fucking stalking these guys?
Yeah.
You love it.
Blue Moon and Shock Top.
I have 2 caffeine pills, gabapentin, and tizanidine in me. Yeah.
Nice.
Are you working on another Crystal Light and V, or are you done with those?
No, I was joking about actually drinking. I said I wasn't drinking, and since you said I should be drinking, I said, "Oh yeah, I'm drinking vodka." I'm actually not drinking vodka.
No vodka.
That's my Norm Macdonald impression.
Are you on the wagon, right?
Yeah,
are you on the wagon, Cypher?
2 weeks now. Yeah, I was saying that I was getting liquor sick. I was heavy drinking, and I love the hell out of the buzz. It's so much fun, especially on the Smokesteve show. To get the buzz going and just riff and hopefully not be too obnoxious and agitating senior citizen. But
you're great, man. You're a good guest.
Thanks. I'm not on any alcohol tonight at all. But I get those nerve drugs, especially when I go up with the caffeine and out and about, with the nerve medication. It's a high of a sort. There's a relative euphoria that occurs. And then I get some mustard and biscuits, and I'm all set.
Right, exactly.
That's right.
Great movie.
I feel like aphid lip at that point. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's my who is it? Sling Blade. That's my Carl, imitation on Sling
Carl,
Blade.
exactly. That's his name.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good movie. Great movie.
One of my favorite movies. You pick my toes, pick my toenails off. Yep.
John Ritter. Great role for John Ritter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good in that Bad Santa too.
Was Ritter in Bad Santa or?
Oh yeah.
Or no, Billy Bob Thornton.
No, Ritter was the boss.
Both of them.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. He was. Oh man, he's visually John Ritter, man. He plays this mall like manager, and he hires Billy Bob Thornton and this midget to be the Santa and Elf.
Yeah. Vaguely.
And he catches Billy Bob boning some chick, some fat chick, in the butt in the dressing room with his Santa suit draped around his ankles, and he tries to get him fired. In the scene where he's telling the security guard, which is played by that black guy that's dead now. He had his own show. Oh, what is his name?
Arsenio Hall.
No, not Arsenio Hall.
He had his own
man,
show.
Back in like the 90s. I can't think of his name.
God, I don't know.
I gotta look it up because it doesn't.
It drive you crazy now.
It'll be quick because it's just bad Santa.
Boy, that's some good.
But yeah, the facial expressions that he makes when he's explaining Billy Bob Thornton.
Is Mr. Kelsey one trying to say it?
Bernie Mac.
It is
Bernie Mac.
Yeah, he had it.
And anyway, he's sitting there and he's look at that.
That looks
sticky.
Potent.
Yeah,
yes, looks potent.
Very.
Yeah.
He tells Bernie Mac how he tells this fat chick that he's boning. He says, "You're never gonna," and he makes this face. And he goes, "Shit right for a week."
Yeah.
It's just a classic. It's classic.
Yeah, he's not going to sit right for a week, right? He's got a real attraction to big asses.
Yeah, he does.
There's a scene where he's all hungover.
Every Santa does.
There's a scene where he's all hungover, and there's a big ass walking by, and they show his face in slow motion checking her out. And yeah.
There's a scene he's hungover. Every scene he's hungover.
Exactly. Great character. Great movie. Yeah, the little black dude who was his partner, kind of, was just really good. Total asshole.
That movie is such a good Christmas movie, man.
Oh, and the little kid who's like,
yeah, he's awesome too.
what kind of sandwich do you want?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember the kid.
Do you want lettuce?
Do you want me to make you a sandwich?
Do you want lettuce? And Billy Bob wants to kill him. Lettuce? So good. Love that kid. And he grew up, and then I think he was in a more modern movie, but he played sort of himself, like his character from.
Oh, really?
Was it Bad Santa 2? Was there?
I think there was a Bad Santa. I never saw Bad Santa 2 because the first one was so good. I didn't want to taint it with because I don't even think Billy Bob was in the second one.
Billy Bob Thornton did a real good series. I think it was an Amazon series called Goliath, and there were 3 seasons that he did. It was pretty good drama. He plays an attorney who's like, sort of a drunk and drug user, and he's always on, I think, oxygen or something, and he's got the voluptuous office manager, and all sorts of things go on that are fun. And he fights Goliath law firms. That's where the term Goliath comes from. He's an attorney, and he's fighting as a single attorney. He's taken on this enormous law firm, and it's a good bit of humor in the writing, but it's a good drama too. A very good series. Goliath.
What was that, Billy Bob?
He's a character, man.
Yeah, he was with that Angelina Jolie, and they both wore vials of each other's blood around their neck.
They were married, weren't they? That was interesting. It's like,
and he's a goofy looking dude.
Yeah. And then she went on to Brad Pitt, so obviously, I mean,
upgrade.
I would say so.
Yeah.
He's from just south of St. Louis.
Billy Bob, he's a writer. Yeah, he's written movies. He's covered a lot of bases in the entertainment industry.
He's a good, solid actor. He could play some parts.
Yeah.
That Sling Blade part was mind-blowingly good, man.
Yeah, he's unrecognizable in that movie.
Right,
exactly. He was up for Best Actor for that, and the actor who did Shine. Remember the movie Shine?
Yes.
About the what was the problem with that guy? He was autistic, wasn't he?
Possibly.
Yeah, his father had brutalized him and just driven him, but he was a brilliant pianist, and then he fell apart totally, just disappeared, and then showed up at a bar, basically a restaurant bar, and wanted that piano so badly, and then he started playing, and then at the bar, and then from there he was rediscovered, and then went on to, and it's basically a biographical in a lot of ways. It was based on a real person, and I think they actually did some documentary about that, where the real person was there. In fact, it might have been him. I don't know. Anyway, that guy won the Academy Award that year for Best Actor, although I thought Billy Bob Thornton should have got it.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Better actor, Billy Bob Thornton or the guy from the Daniel Day-Lewis?
Daniel Day-Lewis, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to
his range. I mean, that My Left Foot. I mean, he could play anything,
There Will Be Blood. That's an awesome movie.
That was the ending was sort of weird, with the way he finally beamed that guy in the bowling alley. I mean,
how about the Gangs of New York?
Yeah.
Fabulous
great character.
He's
good. Sharpening them knives.
He's a good actor. He's one who can have some range, man. That
Last
guy.
of the Mohicans.
Awesome movie.
Good.
Cheesy but good. The ending was so good.
Yeah.
And ended up being that the old man was actually the last one, and that was cool when he did that front flip. Like,
I don't remember it.
There was a battle up on the cliffs, and he runs at the bad guy, the English guy, and he does this tuck and roll front flip and stabs him in the back. It's fucking awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
The Indian bad guy in that movie was great, man. He had that. His makeup, his war paint makeup was just evil looking as shit, man.
Yeah, very cool. Well, There Are Four Lights says he's got a big booze up ahead tomorrow. I want him to tell us what a big booze up is. Sounds like he's
party time.
He's over there across the seas in the Asian countries. I don't want to say exactly where. Keep him anonymous, but he's got a big booze up. What the hell does that mean? I want to know. Big party day for There Are Four Lights. It's probably already back to sleep. That's fine. Now I almost hear some tree frogs of some sort.
Yeah,
Here?
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some cicada type stuff.
Yeah, cicadas. That's what those are, cicadas.
Or are they katydids?
Katydids.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes,
I
sir.
think those are the same thing.
Tree barkers.
These are the things that land on a old piece of wood and climb out of their shell and leave a bronze shell of their body behind. I bet I could look and see one. They're all over.
Very smart, Paul Greystone. Don't drink.
And he did give us a good description. There Are Four Lights says drink. That's what it means. Okay. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Still awake.
Man.
Yep. Drinking does create shouting. But as George said, if you can keep it in control, you get occasional euphoric feeling. As long as you're not doing that every day.
Yeah, euphoria, you get the buzz, you just get good feelings when it's done properly, but I don't do it properly. I do it compulsively and addictively, so therefore I needs to keep it under control and maybe not drink for a while.
There you go, man. Smart. Good on you.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm drugged up with my nerve drugs, so I qualify for the Smokesteve pub.
Oh, yeah. Sobriety is not frowned upon here at the pub.
Well, person's got to control his need to talk about his sobriety, though. That's not good.
Just discouraged.
You mean sobriety in general?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
That's right.
yeah. As long it's like anything. If you don't push it on me, do what's good for you. You know what I'm saying? Same with everything. Like earlier, we were talking about Aphid, but before you got here, this split between the Democratic Party that seems to be happening. You have the ultra progressives like the AOC side, and then you have the closest to the centrist side, which is trying to possibly broker deals with Republicans for infrastructure and whatever else they're trying to get done in the Senate. Any comments on those two?
Well, I think the progressive end is I think we might have hopefully just went through a period of time where there was real extremes, and there's always going to be extremes, but more of a percentage of the population was part of those two extremes. And I feel like we could possibly be coming out of that, which I think could only be a good thing, or at least that's what I hope. Yeah. And I think that that progressive, they even got this Cori Bush now here in St. Louis that was saying that she's okay with paying for private protection, but she wants to defund the police. I mean,
yeah, but she also slept on the state house steps to go against the ending of the eviction moratorium.
Right, of course she did.
Because that would mean that people who make money, capitalists, landlords, those evil bastards who run companies to make themselves successful would have to lose more money if it ended.
Right.
So she wants them to fail.
Even though there's all kinds of jobs to be had if people really want to pay the bills. And they just keep getting government handouts, But with all that aside, I think, back to your original point, I think that they're not winning all the seats like they're getting beat by more centrist Democrats.
Right.
And likewise on the Republican side as well. So I think that the My Pillow, the people that follow My Pillow, and the people that have posters of Acacia Artez or whatever her name is, I think those people are soon going to be shown to be the minority of both sides of the population. So my hope is that they're going to get weeded out, and we're going to hopefully go back to more of a government system where the two sides can work on things, because that's only that works for everybody. You got such a large percentage of the population that's one side or the other. There's no difference. You have to work together, and we're going to be able to go to family functions and sit down next to some clown that you totally disagree with, and you guys can talk about your local sports team instead of talking about Biden or Trump.
Now let me ask you this, Aphid. Which side has a larger percentage of people who are on the fringe exterior? Democrats or Republicans?
I mean, I could be wrong. It seems like Republicans but it could just be that the things like blatant disregard for right and wrong just because your party, that whole Newt Gingrich kind of started the whole if you're not with us, you're against us, and we're going to do whatever we can to tear you down.
I do disagree with you there.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Knew that was coming.
I do.
But you probably have agreed with me on some of the other things I've said.
It's not a vociferous disagreement. It's just a quiet disagreement.
So what I was saying was, it seems like they're more prevalent right now, but I don't know. It could be 50-50. I don't know many. It could be where I live. You said that you don't have any Republican geared radio stations where you live, where that's all we have. We don't have any. You said that.
Yeah, I know.
We don't have any Democrat ones here. You know, we only have conservative. And you know, I live in St. Louis with, you know, a large, as far as the city goes, which is a dwindling thing here in this area. You know, the majority of that is Democratic. You know, but we don't have anything that supports it because they all listen to rap music. Everybody else, you know, is a strong, you know, Republican. You know, it's just I'm not trying to be, you know, racist. That's what's going on here. So, you know, it could just be that's what I see.
Right.
You know, so I don't know.
You don't like the rap, huh?
No, actually, I like 90s rap, like Too Short and EPMD and
Tribe Called
Public
Quest?
Enemy and Tribe Called Quest. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Left My Wallet and El Segundo.
Gotta get it. I got to get it. Yeah, I love that shit, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like Despacito.
That's Bieber, and that's one of the only Bieber tunes I like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one easy to fake sing if you don't know Spanish. You're like, Despacito, ven mama y a bachetito, and
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't know that song?
No.
Oh, look it up. Listen to it. It's great.
It's Bieber. It's
Great.
Bieber, bro.
You know, it's sort of melancholy because it was celebrating, you know, Puerto Rico, and then of course Puerto Rico got blasted by that hurricane. I don't know which hurricane it was.
Maria, dude.
They were destroyed, and they became something other than what they used to be. The island, the entire infrastructure and social structure and culture of the island was just almost obliterated. It was horrible, you know. It's terrible.
That was Hurricane Maria.
Yeah, and that song was created before that event happened. And
right.
Every time I hear the song, especially, you know, when you see the original version where the beautiful, you know, Puerto Rican women are dancing and everybody's sexy and it's just beautiful, and then just the colorful, you know, culture. And I hate that happened to that place, you know.
Yeah. I work with some Puerto Ricanos. They're great guys, man. Just fucking great guys. I'll have a smile when you see them, and big handshake. Just cool people, you know.
Yep.
They're happy to be here, just like me. We're like, when you get a good place in life, whether you're white, black, Puerto Rican, you're like happy, you know. Like
there was a big influx of Puerto Rican, you know, immigration, you know, that fled the island and came to Florida. In particular, I think Florida was the state that took the most of that, you know, transfer of population. I don't know if they stayed or not. I didn't keep up with it, but I think many of them did.
Being that it's a U.S. territory, many of them speak far better English than many other people from South America, you know, that aren't, you know,
they're much better, Ape and Lip. Thank you.
My headphones were going out, so.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, it's.
Can you hear me on? Can you hear me on this mic? Like, can you tell?
Oh yeah. There's no ambient, you know, crazy sounds.
These headphones are a little better.
A lot better, yeah. A lot better.
I'd like one of those big ones that came out around like an ESPN from the 1980s. It's like a whole microphone. It's like a mouthpiece that's out.
I believe this does have the option to do that, because I had to replace this wire, and it's just it's like a quick clip where you just punch it in, and they have Bluetooth ones, and these are Bose. I got these real nice Bose ones.
That's, I mean, you can tell the quality of them. You sound like a
The
radio.
audio is night and day too, like on my end, because like you guys, everything's being canceled out now, and you're totally clear. But I got these at a estate sale for like dirt cheap.
You mentioned that you get a lot of technical, you know.
Yeah, because you get good
from the sales.
Do you guys go as a family, or is that something you do by yourself?
We have one on as a family, actually. I go by myself, and my son really enjoys going to them because
he can get toys for like $1.
Well, he's buying something for $400 tonight, which is a big deal for him. He's so excited because I told him he had to wait till the night because of everything that's been going on, and it's a big purchase, and it's all his money. He has bought and sold to build up. It's $400, so it's a big purchase.
Can you give us you don't have to tell us what it is. Is it like
Oh yeah, I can tell you. It's a graphics card for his computer.
Oh wow, holy crap, $400? That's
Yeah.
as much as a whole laptop, dude.
I know, dude. I know.
Holy
I built him this computer, and you know, I got less than that into the whole computer. It's a really good computer.
Make sure you got real good surge protection on everything.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I told him, I said, dude, this is not mom and dad buying it. You know, there's no guarantee. You know, he's buying it off of eBay, you know, and he sold all that he's bought and sold from like Goodwill and stuff, all this stuff to build up to this.
Really, a
money.
dealer.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't get us.
Goods and wares. I know.
We're gonna have him do chores, and he won't do family chores because he says he can make more money.
Some of it grades money. Is it a lot
A
of it?
little bit of it, but not much. Yeah, it's mostly from some of it honestly is stuff that we bought him, like, you know, a gaming system that he sold on eBay. You know, but still, you know, we probably would have threw it up at a garage sale for, you know, $20, and he got top dollar for it and posted it on eBay and resold it. But a lot of it is stuff that he has acquired from. We go into thrift stores and stuff, and he'll buy it because he knows the value of it because he studies that stuff, and he resells it either on Facebook Marketplace through me, or lately we started his own eBay account because I was sick of dealing with people. You know,
So
it's one thing if
using
you're
the technological divide to make a few bucks, because the old yard sale crowd doesn't really get that the crowd on Facebook Marketplace is 1,000 times bigger and will pay a little bit more. So he's like kind of using technology to make a buck.
We go to garage sales too, and he collects games. He doesn't really play the games. He goes and he looks for games that he knows are worth $20 that he can buy for $2 at this garage sale. And then he sells them on eBay and then packs them up, and we make him pack them up and sell them.
What's a
And
big
we got
hit?
his own-
Like Mario Kart? Is that a big hit?
Yeah, Mario Kart.
Rygar?
No, I don't think that's as big of a hit.
That's old.
But anything that's like Mario related is going to be a good seller.
Oh man!
And he wanted to get a PS5, and he's been waiting for a month, but they're still like possible to buy. You can't buy them anywhere.
That's very admirable for him to have that kind of market understanding at his age, you know, and to be able to market stuff on eBay. That's great.
Yeah.
He'll go far. You can depend on that.
He's only 12, and now it's all. Once we got this because when he went to eBay, I'm like, dude, I'm not dealing with all these people, you know, because I was getting tired. Because with Facebook, I'd have to sit there and like make arrangements for people to come and pick the stuff up. You know what I'm saying? And it's through my account, you know, because we don't want him dealing with people on Facebook.
Right.
So, you know, now he's got an anonymous eBay account that nobody knows if it's a, you know, creepy
who it is.
47-year-old man selling it, or some 12-year-old boy.
Does he charge appropriate shipping and handling fees?
Well, he's to this point he's made it so where they have to pay for it, and he prints out a label on, or just a piece of paper on the printer, and then we take that up to, you know, he packages it up, and we go to like whatever, it's either the post office or UPS, and just sets it on the counter, and then they take it from there. He doesn't have to pay him anything.
Cool.
That's amazing, bro.
So yeah, he's stoked. He's gonna get this graphics card. Or I don't know. I told him, I was like, you know, I really, because I want him to get the PS5 because one, he's been wanting that for so long, and two, the graphics card is just gonna make his gaming that he does now a little bit better. You know.
I don't know, dude. If he got 400 that quick, what if he put that 400 in every few months? So when he's 16, he gets himself a little, you know, like a Mustang or something for like $5,000.
He'll do it.
He was telling me on the way home from the hospital today. He's like, I want you, because I have a Volkswagen Corrado. That's it's a sports car that Volkswagen made that in the 90s. That wasn't.
Was that the air cooled one?
No, it's water cooled.
Water cooled. Okay.
Yeah. And at the time, it cost almost as much as a Corvette did. So it wasn't like American people were like, I'm not paying what I can buy a Corvette with. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a huge hit, even though it's a really cool sports car. But they only made like 2,000 of them, so you never see them. But anyway,
No,
you've seen them.
Never even heard of them.
Oh yeah.
So
I feel like that's a 4-valve, right? 4-cylinder.
Mm-mm.
2?
No, it's called a VR6. It's what they put in their like vans.
Oh, the VR6. It's a
and it's this car is so small. It's like the littlest car you've ever seen in your life.
Power to weight.
They threw a big 6-cylinder in it. Yeah, and it'll be like a back then, not the.
You know what it looks like? It looks like a Group B rally car with the funky. It's a hatchback.
Yeah, it's a hatch. Yep.
With like a chunky kind of wedgy wing on the back.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it's got a wing that raises with the speed. So.
That's epic.
Like when you get to 45 mile an hour, it raises, and then you get to 60, and it raises even.
Hydraulic wing. Oh man.
There's a button inside that you push on it, and it raises it up. If you want to.
You can blow that thing out.
I miss my Mercedes SLK 350 that had a 6-cylinder in it.
Those are cool cars.
The SLK 350, and there was a I don't know if it was a 250 that was a 4-cylinder, but anyway, its hood came down at a very tight slope. It wasn't like almost any other Mercedes. It looked like a friggin', small class, performer for the kind of series that gets on the Daytona, 24 hours.
Right.
It was a true sports car. And I never did, being as I'm like I am, I never did make it perform much. The only time I would ever, make it just do its thing was usually entryways onto the interstate. Access roads to the interstate. I would punch it, and man, it would move. And I mean, it was fun. I had it for a little less than 3 years, and then I actually sold it and it was almost like you get your equity out of a home when you sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. I actually
this thing too. It's like that. It's the only one that's under. Well, not the only one, but it's one of the only ones that's got under 100,000 miles. And it was, now it's tripled in cost since I bought it, but it's never. I've never really driven it. It has an issue that I haven't figured out, and then it's been parked in my garage for 15 years now, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, that could be a real money maker someday.
Yes, absolutely. You'll
it is. That's what I've always said.
You got a 2-car garage or 3-car garage?
2-car garage. So my wife's SUV parks next to it, and then I park out in the driveway.
Yeah.
With my truck.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing, but you have to get it running, and then you gotta get little mini tuner level stuff on it. Keep it polished.
That's
Don't
the
let
thing.
it get dusty and sit and get.
It's dusty. It's dusty. But this thing was a show car, so it was like equivalent to like a SEMA car now. Mm-hmm. So it's got Momo was like the big European tuner stuff back in the day. So it's got Momo everything on it, and it's got a body kit on it, and the engine's been souped up, and that's kind of been the double issue of getting it going.
You're gonna get a small fortune when you get it where it needs to be, and then
right.
Is that a low kit that's like 1.5 inches from the ground?
What's that?
Is it a body like a lowering kit that it's super low?
Yeah. Well, I could show it to you. I could probably bring you guys.
Oh, you don't have to.
I have a Hyundai Veloster now. Woo!
Okay. A little 2-seater?
No, it's got a tiny little back seat.
Okay.
It's just basically for efficiency and I needed to get something that was realistic instead of, ostentatious.
There we go. See, it's no big deal.
Where? What are you talking about? That's a cigarette. That's not a car.
I could tell it's been a rough week for Ethan. He's chain smoking
Yeah.
for the entire
Yeah.
pub.
You know, and I that's another thing that happened. Well, first off, when we went to Chicago a couple weeks ago, I got this ear. My left ear is plugged up, like when I swallow, I hear it pop. You know.
Oh shit.
Oh Jesus! So that brought on the
been
cigarette
going on-
first.
No, it's been going on for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And like when I chew, like if I eat something, it's so annoying because like every bite you take, your ear pops. And so anyway, I on top of that problem, I tested my blood pressure last weekend, and it was Saturday night. You did your show on Friday night. This was Saturday night, and I did. So I had this blood pressure thing, and I did it, and it was a 190 over like 120 or something, and I saw that was like not good, like to have a blood pressure that high. So this week, you know, I was like, well, I'm gonna eat healthy. I'm gonna cut down on smoking. I've smoked like 50% of the cigarettes that I've smoked all week.
Salt, dude. Salt.
Lisinopril is literally no cost.
I know. I know. I don't want to. I want to see first if I can handle this with my diet and my, you know.
Are you a big salt guy?
and-
Are you a table
Yes,
salt guy?
yes. So I've been eating bananas every day and orange juice and not doing my salt.
No salt on the table.
Sodas, I do like big tall sodas this is what I do, Smokesteve. I wake up in the morning, I drink at least a half a pot of coffee, then I drink like 40 ounces of Dr. Pepper, and then I come home
at the coffee
and drink 2 beers when I come 2-3 beers every night, and I go to
Then
bed.
you take your lisinopril. Yes, good. Blood pressure medication is good for you.
After the
You do
coffee, you should go to water. That's
You do
it.
not want to have a stroke.
Right. Yeah.
Stroke bad, Ethan.
But the good thing is I've been kind of not meditating, but before I take my blood pressure, I sit there and I try to relax and like zen out for a few minutes before I test it. And I got it down to the lowest. Now, right now, if I took it, it'd probably be like, if I had to guess, I'd probably say 140, right around 150 over like 90. But I've got it down to as
that's
low.
Pretty good.
I don't know if it's good, but it's
I'll
not
be
as
back
bad
in
as
about 2
what it
minutes.
was.
Got to give my cat some food. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
But I got it as low as 127 over like 79.
That's
So,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the man with 3 G's in his name. Wait, he just left. Fuck, Greg, come back.
Who was it?
Gregg.
Oh, from China?
Yeah, but he just bounced the second I went to click on him. Like it was unbelievable coincidence. Come on, I hate when people jump out when I take like 1.5 minutes to click them on. Wow, we're getting quite a view of the house here, buddy.
Those are my balloons for the boy.
Interesting architecture. Looked like 2x12s in the floor joists.
Are you pinpoint my location, Smokesteve?
No, I'm just looking.
All right, it's gonna be hard to.
Oh yeah, here's the garage. They never painted it. They might have taped.
No.
They taped it.
Okay, there's the.
Oh, look at that, huh? Oh, look how low it is, dude. It's killer.
Yeah.
You gotta keep that clean, man.
Oh yeah. I haven't washed it. I haven't started it in like 3 years.
Oh, man,
Sweet. That's sweet.
There's the job for Junior. $20 a week. Clean the car.
Right. It's a good idea. So there's the side profile of it.
Man.
And it's going to him anyways, right? I mean, that's
And what year is it?
92 Corrado VR6. There we go.
They put the VR6 now on the giant SUV. That thing is like a quarter of an SUV.
Yeah, it's hard to get the good view of it. But it's got like these Momo tires. These are like the big back in the day, these Momo tires.
Sick. Yeah, that's nice.
And the
17-inch.
I have no idea. Like you can't see in there, but the steering wheel and the pedals. I'll have to give you a tour of all my junk that doesn't work. This is my green machine, we call it. It's a go-kart. Well, it's like a dune buggy, kind of. Can you tell? Can you make it out?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard for me to like control this.
We're looking at the front.
Yeah, it's got a piece of cardboard and towel on the top of it. Can you make it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the light bar. Light bar.
Looks cool.
It's fun when it's running. And then there's one of my 2 John Deere tractors that don't run.
Is that what you used to mow?
Well, if it ran, I sure would because I'm pushing it.
Oh, you're pushing them now.
And this is back in the old day when I used to do my show, or when I go on like these live shows from Live Leak. I'd always get in. Well, this is a newer version, but this is the Land Rover because they made fun of it because it has 3 sunroofs.
That thing's awesome, man.
It's big. It's long.
Yeah, you know, a family of 3 really needs 3rd row seating.
For all those dogs.
Does it have the seats that go down where you can sleep? Like a sleeper thing too?
No, it's like here. What else are we talking about?
This is like an unfolding horror movie.
It's got like see, there's the 2nd row seating, and then there's the 3rd row. Like you pop the seats up.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I think it's massive.
Right.
Yeah, it is. It is massive.
Solid car, though. People take those things across Africa.
Yeah, man, it's very capable.
Uh-oh. Garage door's going down.
Yep.
Back into the dungeon, the man zone.
Yeah.
What was that picture on the wall? It looked like Abraham Lincoln. It does, kind of, doesn't it?
That's part of his profile. He's an entertainer and a thinker, but he's a thinker first. I remember.
I was
It's
trying
true.
to talk because my little guy is passed out on the couch up there.
Oh,
But no, it's a
Avid Lip Lincoln, your long lost cousin.
no, it's Salvador Dali. It's
Oh, Dolly, yes.
a Lincoln painting he did. It's like a bunch of cubes of different pictures.
Yeah, he's a good
Well,
one.
thanks for taking us on the tour. That was fun.
Why not? You know.
Yep, very good.
Smokesteve, you want to go have a trampoline off?
No, I don't have one, man. I
Oh, that's right. You got rid of it.
And now the pool is failing. I'm failing at the pool.
What do you mean it's failing?
Well, some sand got in there, and then we can't get the sand out.
Oh, you can get the sand out. What you do is you get because you got one like mine, right? You got a pool
Yeah.
like mine.
Similar.
What you do is you get a dustpan, right? Get some goggles, and if you don't have a snorkel, just get like a hose that you can somehow rig up where you can breathe the outside air. Go down there and make a big, whichever way the water runs, make a big whirlpool, and it'll get all the sand on the outside edges. You know what I'm saying? I bet, right?
Okay.
And then you go down there with your snorkel and your goggles, with your dustpan, and you get in there and you just do this number. You don't touch the sand. You're making like wind
You're telling
from
me
your
you're
fingers.
sweeping underwater.
Yes, and I kid you not, it all will go in that dustpan. You work your way around and you dump that shit
Hi,
out.
Greg.
And it'll be good.
That sounds.
Morning.
Cheers, Greg.
Long time no see.
Morning, gentlemen.
What's up?
Are
buddy?
you
how are you
are you in a different country now?
Yeah, it's 8:30 in the morning, and I'm in the east
So
of China.
you're still in China.
Nice.
I was thinking that you might have been able to travel now and gotten out of China, but that's fine.
What's the booze
great
up
to
you're
see you.
talking about, homeboy? What's this booze up?
No, that was somebody totally different, Smokesteve.
Oh, it was?
That was there are for lights.
There's a big rugby there's a big rugby
Oh, it is
game
there
this
for
evening, and I'm going out in a few hours each. And it's going to be a good 14, 15 hour drinking session. So I'm on the
You
coffee
kinda
at the
look
moment.
like
I
a-
normally have a sneaky beer with you.
You look like you may have been in a scrap or two in your life there. Is that true?
My nose is not straight. Yeah, that's not since the 90s.
90s.
Not
The
since the
90s.
90s. I grew up, you know.
They were a
didn't
good,
like-
that
stopped
was
all
a
that
good
in my,
decade.
Yeah. I stopped all that by the time I was 20.
Got into a fight at the Pearl Jam concert, did you?
I've had a bottle went across this one, and it hasn't been
Oh,
quite straight since.
bottle.
There.
Yeah, luckily I only got hit with the ugly stick, never a bottle.
Your family doing good? Family
Yeah,
good?
I was just a bit close.
Good.
I was just a bit close to the window, so I better move away. I'll wake them all up.
Yeah.
All right. Looks cool out there.
You were talking. You were talking about cicadas. Can you hear those?
Can I what?
Maybe not. Maybe the
No, what'd you-
cicadas.
Yeah, what'd you say about them?
No, the tree frogs you were talking about.
No, they're not tree
They're
frogs. They're like
everywhere. They wait. Yeah, they're little
Where you
insects,
are,
aren't
Greg?
they? Yeah, little bugs.
yeah, insects. Yeah,
Insects, yeah. Like
Yeah.
giant flies.
yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere here. Yeah, absolutely everywhere.
Do you have them buzzing in the trees, Greg?
He keeps locking up a little bit. On my sliding glass doors, I keep looking out. I mean,
Sorry,
now
guys. My
dark.
connection isn't very good.
Yeah, I
It's
see.
okay. No worries.
But I see these little mosquitoes are bouncing off that glass like, fuck you, you're not getting me. I haven't been bitten by a mosquito in 20 years, I swear to God.
Wow,
Well,
really?
you haven't been in my backyard.
I used to get eaten up by them when I was doing outdoor work. But ever since I did indoor work, it's just, I don't go out in the woods anymore. I don't go.
Mine too. I spray here with the bottle. You hook it up to the hose and you spray all the vegetation.
Yeah.
Do you do that, Aphid Lip?
Spray for the mosquitoes?
Yeah.
My wife does. I'm not a big chemical sprayer.
Does she wear glasses and a mask and stuff?
No, and I'm not big into off or any of that stuff, unless it's just I can't bear it, then
What
I'll
about
put
sunblock?
sunblock.
Yeah, man.
No, she is.
You don't wear anything?
No.
Anybody,
Deodorant. I'd put deodorant on.
See,
anybody
I don't
fan-
use deodorant, but I use everything else.
the Werther's hard caramel candy. Anybody a fan?
Too
Man,
hard.
that's what I'm getting right now.
Like for some reason, to me, it just seems like I'll take a vaccine before I'll spray, some deep poison all over my body to keep the mosquitoes away.
Excuse me.
And I got no scientific proof to back up that statement. It's just, to me, that's what seems right.
I mean, on the boat earlier, I was loading up
That's
all
one
these
thing-
chemicals to block the sun. I'm like fucking hosing myself with these bottles, just like glistening like a turkey after. But you have to on the water. I mean, right? I mean, my dad's got an axe wound in his back from when they're trying to take out a fucking melanoma or something like that.
Oh yeah. I bet I got some. I've been burnt severely, like yearly, my entire life. So I'm really kind of worried about that.
He does have a melanoma?
Yeah, they hacked it out of him, but it's not a low, like most people have a skin cancer.
Right.
And when it goes deep, the thing looks rough, dude.
Yeah,
Cypher this knows a little bit about it.
I've never had a melanoma, but I've had.
What you have in your head? I thought you had.
No, that was melanoma. That was one of the slow growers. There's two
I
other.
could have swore. I thought that was from sun exposure.
Well,
it might have been.
It wasn't. Melanoma is a very serious skin cancer, whereas I forget the name. I used to know the names of the others, but it's been a while since I've had the procedures done on me, so I've forgotten the names. But there's a couple of other types that are very, slow growing, and they don't threaten, morbidity at a level that's dangerous.
Right.
And I've had at least a dozen of those, along with another dozen and a half of precancerous, things taken off me. Every time you got to have a Band-Aid on there a day or two. And, they go into the
I'm always
skin.
conscious of this one on my face. I've got a big mole here.
Yeah, you gotta watch
I'm always
it.
quite wary of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how is it
Hey,
there
but-
today, dude? What's the weather like, Greg? Let us know.
Beautiful. 8 o'clock in the morning. It's beautiful, man.
What temperature in Fahrenheit?
Oh, I have no idea about Fahrenheit, mate. I'm a Brit. It's about 26, 27 degrees Celsius at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, that's like 70, 75. Beautiful. Very nice. Looks clear, man. Looks cool.
Mhm.
So can you
Does
you
look
can
nice.
smoke outside there in the little garden area? You probably can't smoke in your house, right? In your apartment.
No, my wife won't have it. No. I have 2 kids as well, so I don't like to,
Do they allow it in the building?
Yeah. Oh, the Chinese smoke everywhere, mate.
No shit, huh? So it's a
Chinese smoke in restaurants. Yeah, they love it.
free
can't get enough of
smoking
it.
society. No worries.
Hmm.
They have in restaurants. Do they have smoking and non-smoking like they used to have here in the States?
Some restaurants don't. They just won't let you smoke, but the majority do. At the bar I'll be going to tonight, smoking inside, no problem.
So people set their pack of smokes right on the bar with their lighter next to their drink, and you can just
That's right,
burn
man.
away. Holy shit! Just like 20 years ago.
Like the old days. Yeah, like the old days.
The Parliaments,
That's true,
the lighter, the draft Bud Light. Oh god, it was white trash central back in the day.
Yeah, I got grapes, man. I got grapes.
Oh wow, look at that.
Nice.
Grapes in the garden, yeah. But I've got a
Straight
new
up
place, and
back.
I'm very happy with it.
Are they sweet yet or
Good,
still sour?
Still a little sour.
Yeah,
Still a
you
little bit
gotta let
sour.
that sugar develop and take another probably 4 or 5 weeks. You'll get some nice sugar in those. When the cold nights start coming in, that's when the sugar really develops in the grapes.
Same as the herb, yeah.
Yeah, this is true. Turn the temperature down in the last couple of weeks. You get purple. You get more trichomes. They say from what I hear. Just secondhand knowledge, of course.
Well,
I'd like to make some wine, but I don't know where to start.
A friend of mine, not myself, of course, because it would be illegal, but this friend had said recently, boy, wouldn't it be interesting to try to make some moonshine? I mean, the stills are available online for under $500. I advised him against it, being as it's against the law, but it sure is an interesting concept, I must say.
I was given some by an American chap last year, and that ruined me. My friend had 2 little bottles of moonshine. It absolutely ruined me.
would you for a week or
I
so?
remember being awake playing the guitar, and I can't remember anything else. I woke up the next morning.
Yeah, it's high percentage of alcohol. Man.
Dangerous stuff.
Careful. Yeah, dangerous.
Yeah.
I'd be into it for more just if I could create something that tasted good and give it to people for free. That would be a cool concept. But if, that's the concept of moonshining, you're, helping people out. But I wouldn't do it personally. It's illegal.
It passed the first test. I didn't go blind.
Yeah.
It's old Simpson sketch, yeah? He
It's
makes
the
the flame in Mo.
It's the lead solder that does it. So if they don't have lead solder, you should be okay.
Yeah, it should be all 100% tin solder. And in addition to that, you want to pour off the first 16 ounces. That's what they call the heads. The heads is a methyl-based alcohol, methyl alcohol. You got to get rid of that, or it's something bad. Ethyl or methyl, whatever the bad one is. The first cup or 2 is the heads. Then after that, it's good. And then down near the end, you get a little more of the tails, which is a little weaker, but still drinkable. But you have to throw out the heads. You can't let that mix in with the barrel, from what I've learned.
Learn something new.
Yeah. You guys ever watch the Moonshiner show? That's on History Channel.
I've come across it.
I've seen it
It seems,
advertised. Yeah, I have seen it.
it seems a little fake to me.
Yeah, there's some fakeness because how could they have people breaking federal law on camera?
Yeah. Well, plus the cameraman's never hiding. He's always standing out in the open filming the people hiding. So if there really was they were in some real trouble, the cameraman would totally give him away because he's standing right there, like standing over the guy hiding behind a tree.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think it might be classified under educational so they can get away with it. I don't know.
It's educational fiction.
Yeah. I mean, that guy Popcorn Sutton, have you heard of that name, Popcorn Sutton? The world's most famous moonshiner. Yeah.
They had a show on there called go ahead, I want to hear about it.
No, you don't want to hear about it. It's depressing. Trust me.
They had another show on there. It was about ginseng and people getting the ginseng root.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same premise, where they were, they had their own little honey hole, they called it, where they had their ginseng growing.
I know about them honey holes.
Yep. And it just seemed totally fake.
Yeah, American ginseng does exist. I never watched that show, but it does. It is a thing.
Yes, sir.
The coronas start to hit my area now, unfortunately.
What does that mean for you?
For me at the moment, it doesn't really affect me. I travelled last on Saturday, but since then, I think there's been some developments. And I live in like a seaside resort. And last night, it was Friday night, I was out and it was empty. There was no one there. And the Friday before, it was full. Yeah. And, it's a shame, You have the night market and there's people who rely on that trade. And, yeah, it was dead. It was absolutely dead.
Yeah.
I think there's people more being in fear of traveling than not being able to. But
I'm moderately creeped out by the resurgence of the new variant, the Delta variant, and I'm starting to back off some of my, outbound adventures. I don't go out as much. I'm starting to go hermit again. Let me
put it to you this way: those people in Provincetown, Cape Cod, there was like 1,000 people who ended up getting it from that cluster that had the Delta 9. Most of them were vaccinated. 7 of them ended up in the hospital. So out of 1,000 people, most vaccinated, there's really not a high percentage of sickness here. So if you're vaxxed, it's not as much of a worry.
It's like getting the flu.
I'm not worried about the disease. I'm just worried about the restrictions,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Florida's sort of unique position because there is a huge unvaccinated population in Florida. And at one level, what's the Florida governor's name?
DeSantis.
DeSantis is doing wonderfully in many, many ways. But we're definitely having a hiccup here relative to the COVID vulnerabilities, and our state is accounting for somewhere close to, I think, a third of what's the COVID cases in the nation, or something like the new COVID cases in the nation. It's very strange, and my ex-wife / current girlfriend it works in the hospital, and they're just. And it's showing up in the news stories. I'm subscribing to the e-version of the newspaper. I don't get the paper newspaper, but I get the newspaper in my email every day. And I mean, all the hospitals are loaded, and the hospital where my girlfriend, we'll just call her girlfriend, works. I mean, not only is the ECU, the emergency unit, and the critical unit, they're taking up part of one of the floors. I think it's a 4-story building, and a good part of the 3rd floor is being utilized for COVID patients, and they're just being slammed. Our district, and I think the whole state's getting slammed. So it's very different in different regions of the USA. Different, the different regions each have their waxing and waning of the problem. And right now we're having a waxing. We're taking a beating, and
We are too, big time.
Yeah, but once again, isn't it a problem with the people who are unvaccinated for the most part?
That's what
Yeah.
I indicated. Florida, because of the philosophy that's governing the governing philosophy in Florida, there are many, many more unvaccinated people in Florida than there are in many of the other states, and
Right. So what I would say is, since most of the unvaccinated people would probably say that they are against lockdowns anyways, then
get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated, and let's just live life the way we want to live life.
That's yeah. I mean, the anti-vaxxers, there are sometimes legitimate news stories that come out, legitimate medical opinions and viewpoints that come out, but I'm not real pleased with some of the disinformation that is being spread, and it's nasty when it gets spread at a macro level through the social media sites, and I just don't see the great harm that people say is going to befall everybody by getting the jab. I just don't see that, and it's starting to piss me off. For what that's worth, I should set this all straight.
Yeah,
I
that
haven't
was a
had
joke,
it,
by
mate.
the
I
way.
don't intend to.
What? You don't intend to what?
I don't intend to have the jab.
Oh,
No, and that's absolutely fine. I don't think that people should be forced into anything. Let's just live life the way life should be lived, and vaccine or not, that's it.
That's it. I don't want to get into that. It's got very tribal, all this, isn't it? And yeah, it's
can be. Yeah.
Yeah. My body, my choice, all that.
Sounds funny to say that. That's basically dealing with pregnancy. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. By God.
Yeah, I don't care if
I
people
get it.
do or don't.
I'm not going to mock you. It's
Like you said,
Oh,
Greg.
cool, man.
Like you said, Greg, I don't care about all that. I don't want any more lockdowns. That's it.
Right.
I think that destroys more than anything. Aphidlip, you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation you got here. I mean, there's a way where we could get back on track. I feel, and some people feel differently.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
best way to put it.
I've left the passion out of it for the most part. I mean, I have. I understand the viewpoints from both sides, the extreme viewpoints from both sides, and then I understand the centrist viewpoint very well. Actually, that's where I am. And being very much overweight and being a senior citizen, and seeing friggin' obituaries of people who are in their 50s and who are my age, dying from this shit. I mean, I have. I got spooked by it all. As soon as my HMO said I could get, a vaccine, I got the vaccine. I got it very early this year. So,
I mean, the way I look at it is, there was a point in time where, even though I was on the more precautious side, I was glad that there was people that weren't, because they kept things going, and now that's kind of moved to a thing where I wish people would see, as far as the vaccine in my eyes, because I think we would get closer to a more sustainable goal of all getting back to a somewhat normal spot.
yeah.
But you can't drag people kicking and screaming that don't.
No.
Because I don't want that to happen in something that I feel differently about later on in my life.
Martin's here. Yay.
If I feel like I don't agree with something, I don't want somebody to be like, well, look, when you force somebody to go get the vaccine, and now we feel this way, but you don't, and we don't like the way you're thinking, so we're going to force you to do this. Well, I don't want that to happen either. So,
No.
it's a catch-22 on how to look at the whole
Try to
situation.
use persuasion and logic, and if that doesn't work, then okay, God be with you. Good luck.
Just let people make their own decisions. That's it. Take care of
Yeah.
your own. And
Yeah.
don't impose your opinion on other people. I think
One
With
thing
that, with that said, though, I mean, I'm vaccinated, and I don't really want to go sit in a small restaurant with a bunch of
right,
people.
I'm creeped out by it all, but
Yeah,
I am real pleased that there are many more resources and many more raw materials in the form of drugs that are can be utilized to treat COVID patients, so that instead of mortality issues, you're just in morbidity area, you're in the area of disease that can be healed rather than disease that is fatal. So that's good. That's
yeah.
the progress that we want to see. Is we don't want people dying from the shit, but that's
I love,
the bottom line.
I love, and I mean I love a nice Chinese buffet. Like when you go to, and they got good food, not just the crap food that's been sitting around for like 4 hours. Like a good Chinese buffet. But in the wintertime, I don't go to a Chinese buffet because I don't want to get the flu. All right. Well, that's the way I look at it now. Even though I'm vaccinated, what I'm going to be experiencing is probably going to be similar to the flu, where like 2 or 3 days I don't want to leave my house. I can't work. I don't feel like doing that, maybe even longer. So I don't choose to go to a restaurant now because I don't want to take the chance of getting something like that. Now, before it was just Chinese buffet. Now it's every restaurant. But
even
that's
with
not the way I
outdoor
see it.
seating,
No, if it was outdoor seating or if it's an outdoor event, I don't really have much of a
do you guys go to an outdoor place and get some, I
right.
don't know,
Well,
barbecue?
today I went to the scariest places in the world and went and sat down at a table and took my mask off and ate lunch, which was at a hospital. There can't be any more chance that I'm going to get COVID in the air than at a hospital, and that's where I was today. And it was weird, but I did. I got my food. I sat down at a table. I was, 20 feet away from the next table, and we took our mask off and we ate our food.
What do you have, a death wish, you maniac? Even without, what the fuck?
What's wrong with
Everything
you?
okay, man?
Oh, well, my son had a
Nothing wrong, man.
surgery.
You got the. What was,
My son had surgery today on his eyes. He's got lazy eyes, and they corrected it today. So my son was in surgery, and we were starving, and he can't eat. He couldn't eat because of the surgery precautions. So many hours ahead of time. So we didn't want to have like a big breakfast in front of him this morning, knowing he couldn't eat.
Well, it sounds like you had a big breakfast in the calf, maskless.
We did, man. Yeah, we did. It wasn't breakfast, but it was pretty good for cafeteria food.
French
Man, I gotta say
fries.
they've stepped up their game since last time I was stuck in the hospital and got some shit food. This was like, it was good stuff, and it was cheap too. It wasn't like, you go to like a Five Guys fries and get a burger and it's like $12. This was like, it was really affordable, and it was real people cooking the food right behind the screen, and it was good stuff, man, for cheap. It was like $11 for me and my wife both to eat
Wow.
a full meal.
Happy Dog's got what probably is a legit interesting stat over there on Sidebar. Without comorbidities, 3,500 deaths. That's possible. Without comorbidities, very possible. Yeah. But who doesn't have a comorbidity? Very few people. Younger people, don't have comorbidities for the most part.
World record runner Paul Greystone probably doesn't. There's the link if you want to come on, Marty.
He's having some fun with that one. Dr. Greer talks of USOs above our heads, but never connect the nano in our bodies are machines, as the rover on Mars is a machine. Also's space law.
Wow, that sounds.
That's a riff. That's a good riff.
So many directions in that statement.
Yes, it's excellent statement. Thank you, Paul Greystone.
I need more gear.
I saw Paul Greystone says something real nice about me way back. I told you guys that I was looking at the the videos from like 9 months ago and 4 months ago or something like that. I don't know what it was he said, but he said something nice about me. So
Have
thank
we
you.
all have we all aged a lot since then, Cypher?
I have. I had because I had all that heavy drinking, my face got a lot fatter. Not you guys haven't so much. I got my hair back. I grew my hair back, and that's different.
I feel like I lose more and more hair every day.
A couple of weeks ago, I was
I
really
put on
looking
20
bad. That was
kilogram.
Martin made a
What'd
comment.
you say? What'd you say, Greg?
I put on 20 kilograms since I've been in China.
Wow, all muscle, right?
Last year's lockdown did it, Yeah. Muscle weighs more than fat. Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, Martin made
I started playing football again, so yeah.
Oh yeah,
I lost the. Lost.
You will, man.
months.
If you're young enough
Getting
to do
better.
that. I'm trying to say, Martin made a very legit comment a couple of weeks ago about how I was saying the same thing, but my face was puffy and, it's rosacea. I don't know if you've ever heard of that term, but rosacea is redness and a little bit of swelling in the face. People used to make fun of Bill Clinton's rosacea. He had a lot of it, a lot more than I've had, in matter of fact. And, I don't have that. I've still got a fat face, but it's not fucking red and flushed anymore because I've detoxed, so I'm feeling a lot better.
Well, Slick Willie would get one look at one of those interns and he'd turn bright red like a fucking fire hydrant.
You get flushed, you get all ready.
I bet you Aphid Lip was a huge Slick Willie fan.
No, but I will say that he was an effective president as far as statistical. If you look at statistics, him and Reagan were towards the top of as far as how the country did as a whole financially, during his presidency and for a short time after that.
Yeah, he was all right. I mean, I liked him.
Yeah.
He was what they called the great communicator because he could speak to.
Yeah, he was better than Biden about giving speeches, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's
Even
true.
though I'm really conservative, it was when the attack on him started occurring, there was just the way that it was done that was so fucking trite that, I had been a Democrat in my youth, really younger days, and then I became a Republican right around the Reagan years. That's also when I enlisted, was in 84 in the military, and I stayed Republican until the mid to late 1990s, and then the craziness of the politics started to piss me off, and I've been an independent, in terms of registration ever since. Even though I've been, how conservative I sometimes have been, rowdily conservative.
Yeah. Towing the line, guy. Towing the line.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if I've been observed by the authorities, but probably have. But I've proven out to be sane and okay, I'm sure. But anyway, I've been an independent in terms of registration ever since. And never have re-affiliated with the parties. So,
yeah, I see no point in it.
No, there's
but I am glad that there is a two-party system, though, because it has seemed to work well for us to prosper over the past 100 years or so.
Yeah.
But it does seem like time is right for a third party because people are frustrated with either or,
I don't think that's possible for a third party. It'd have to be a four-party. It'd have to go from a two to a four-party.
Well,
because a third party, I think, would just get too. We're so evenly divided. A third party would help if it was like, let's say 30-70, or 40-60, But I think a third party now, because it's almost 50-50, would take too much. There'd have to be one side that would side more with that third party.
The largest single affiliation is independent, and then it's followed by Democrats, and then almost even with, like you said, almost 50-50.
Yeah.
There's almost as many Republicans as Democrats, but the largest affiliation is independent. I'm virtually certain.
Because of that, I'd almost like to say I'm not an independent because I don't want to be affiliated with even an independent party. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, independent's not a party; it's just independent.
It isn't, but it kind of is. Some people kind of use it as a
Yeah,
party.
yeah. I use it as a foil against either party. You know.
Right. That's the way I look at it.
That's the way I am.
Well,
You know.
Ross Perot was the last guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, Ross
Yeah,
Perot.
he's the reason that Clinton got in. He split the conservative
Right.
vote.
That's what I'm saying. For a third party, I think the same thing would happen.
But you've got to be a billionaire to do it, you know.
Well, Bloomberg tried to do it, kind of. He kind of went with the Democratic Party, but he wasn't.
It didn't work too well.
He's not a Democrat, though.
Yeah.
Trump
He's a
called him Little
globalist.
Mike, I think.
Oh, he
Yeah,
just
Trump.
took the piss out of him
Trump
regularly.
had to go for
Terrible.
the physical.
I don't know if it was Trump campaign proper or if it was, memesters, but somebody created a video, of Bloomberg, coming out like a child Bloomberg who was really silly looking. And he was either sitting on Trump's shoulder or in his arm. I think he was holding him in his arm. It's silly stuff.
Good one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, politics aren't nearly as interesting with Trump out of there. I'll have to give Trump that. But I think that's only a good thing because, like I was saying before about families sitting together at Thanksgiving dinner together, I think is more possible today than it was a year ago,
I had sort of, been critical of Trump a couple of different of the shows, but, part of his, really violent reactions emotionally and intellectually were to the Steele dossier, which, it's not conspiracy theory about where the Steele dossier came from. It was opposition research. It was bogus, and it was put forth as being, valid, objective research, which it was not. And then the crap that went down with the Ukrainian phone call and the whistleblower and the subsequent Mueller investigation, and I think that was the sequence of events that occurred, and then the impeachment. And that phone call was a legitimate phone call. It was not a phone call that involved, malfeasance or inappropriate, political actions, and that would drive anyone crazy, and it was dirty deeds done dirt cheap. It was crazy shit, and I mean anybody would be pissed off. But I mean when he couldn't stop it just the infuriation that he had, if that's the word, he was so infuriated that it just kept going up, and then it became unmanageable. There's a point where there has to be a temperating. I'm losing my words. It has to be ameliorated. It has to be moderated. It has to be contained. And he became uncontained in his rage and his sense of, no fair play. He was just constantly, pissed off about it. And, it became unmanageable. I mean, that was all there was to it. He still has all the intellect, all the good policy, efforts and practices, but it just became something that was not acceptable for the large majority of American people. I mean, he still has followers, and he still has a movement behind him, but it's less of a movement than it was in 2015 and 2016. Still a movement. Still there. I don't know.
It is a movement.
He was hilarious, though. Hilarious, Trump.
Well,
without
it was colorful. It was very colorful, years. That business of taking and when the Pelosi and the Democrat contingent was going to, I forget where they were flying. It was to some European countries, and he withdrew the military documentation. He put forth documentation that stopped them from being able to fly out on the planes that they were going to fly out on, and they were literally on the buses, driving around trying to figure out what to do. And payback is a bitch, so he got payback, that's for sure. There's tit for tat shit going on left and right.
Exactly. Yeah, well, what do you think, fellas? We're past 3 hours here.
Yeah, you did great. Thank you very much.
Good
for
job,
hosting.
Smokesteve.
Yeah,
You're such
thank you very much.
You're such a gentleman and a
Yep.
scholar.
My sound is going in and out too.
All right.
So,
Greg, have a good rugby match.
Yeah,
yeah, lovely to see you, gentlemen.
man.
Great
I'd
to
like
see
to
you,
say
Greg.
first. You take
Good
care,
to see you
gentlemen.
too, Greg.
Yeah, take care, guys. Look
Bye,
after
dude.
yourself.
Okay,
Cheers.
take
Later,
care.
Greg.
Out of here. Enjoyed it. Thanks again, Steve.
All right.
As
Later,
always.
George. It's
Good
been
job,
real,
Smokesteve.
man.
Later.
See you, man.
Great
Thank
job.
Thank you for coming, brother. It was good.
All right, man. Take
You
care.
gonna do anything tomorrow? One of your weird, backwoods streams?
I mean, probably not, unless like right now, I think my boy's up there sleeping. If this is gonna continue tomorrow, then maybe, I don't know. If not, then probably not.
All right. Well, we'll see you next Saturday.
All right, man. Cheers. I'll let you know if I do something.
All right. Later.
All right, bye.
All right. Well, that was a fine pub. Thank you for coming, everybody. Happy Dog. Marty. Good to see you, man. Pod Save England. Paul Greystone, you are the man. Thank you for sticking it out. Cup of tea. You guys are all great. It's been fun. It always is. I will now possibly make another drink and surf the web for a while. Smoke a bowl. Goodbye.